shot by ICE. At this point, I think it's safe to assume this will happen again. There's a hell of a lot of angry protesters in the street, and there's no sign that President Trump is going to de escalate this situation. So, in fact, he wants to pour more military personnel into the fire. So, he wants to put more gasoline on the fire. So, I don't think there's anyone that likely believes that this is the last person that's going to get shot and or killed by ICE. So give me 1 second here. I'm almost ready to go live here. But I do want to know from you folks if you've seen anything that has changed your opinion over the last 24 hours in regards to what you believe happened from a standpoint of murdered or justified. So, um, wow. I don't, it's hard to watch this. Now, I've seen multiple angles of what happened, and I do want to, I want to apply. And we're on live now. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy, Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. We're talking about Alex Pretty, I think his name is, Pretti, I believe it's the spelling. We're talking about what happened yesterday. But I don't, I've seen multiple angles of this, and I'll just say I have yet to see any angle that shows him doing anything threatening, for lack of a better way to phrase it. I have yet to see any angle of him doing anything threatening, holding a firearm, looking like he's reaching for one, anything like that. So, and from the preliminary reports that I'm hearing is that he took a lot of rounds to the back. He took a lot of rounds to the back. Now, I took hell of a lot of flack for suggesting that, even though I didn't like what happened to Renee Nicole Good, I think there's an argument that could be made for the justification of it, because the vehicle was moving forward. She was breaking the law moving. This one looks worse. This, for folks who thought that Renee Nicole Good was wrongfully terminated, this looks worse. I don't have any legitimate argument, but I want to hear from you folks, because maybe you do. But I don't see any way to justify what happened after seeing multiple angles of what took place. We can make the argument that the officer, in the case of Ray Nicole Good, got bumped by the vehicle. The vehicle was heading towards him. I mean, there's a few arguments. I don't see anything to be made in the case of this. There were like 5 or 6 agents dealing with this dude. And yeah, I don't see any argument to be made, but I want to hear from you folks. So looking in the comments, Janae Holt says, regardless, no one should be killed in scenarios like that. Well, if he's armed and he is legitimately reaching for his firearm, then he would be a justifiable shooting. I'm not saying that any of the information or data I've seen so far justifies that is what happened. But yeah, if you got 5 or 6 agents trying to effect an arrest and you decide to reach for a firearm, then you kind of put your quarter in the jukebox. You got to dance the tune. He didn't do that from what I've seen, though. I don't see anywhere where he did that. It appears as if they had him on the ground subduing him and they disarmed him. Now, I'm going to speculate here, but it seems like they disarmed him, and while disarming him, informed each other that this guy is armed, and that provoked one of them to begin shooting, and apparently it had a chain effect. That's what I'm seeing, but I don't see anything from any angle or any video camera showing that this guy ever grabbed for his firearm. I don't see any of that. Now, in the comments right off the bat, Kremtha, I guess that's the pronunciation of that. Kremtha says, no papers equals no rights. Here's a problem. But first of all, that's unconstitutional. But here's the other problem with that. Most Americans don't carry papers. Most Americans do not carry anything on them proving that they are a citizen of this nation. I don't carry a passport around with me. I generally have a driver's license. But and we know that you can get I still have a driver's license from the nation of Australia. I'm not a citizen there. I still have my Australian driver's license. It's long since expired, but I do have one. That doesn't mean I'm a citizen. So having a driver's license doesn't really say a lot. So point being, most Americans don't carry paperwork with them, mainly because that stuff is so important. You don't want to have it damaged or lose it. You don't want to ever lose your passport. That's a major document to lose. Same with a birth certificate. You don't want to carry that around in your everyday your everyday assortment of documents you carry. You don't want to carry your birth certificate and passport around. But I see it, but to have someone in the comments suggest that if you don't have paperwork, you don't have rights, that would mean that the police could really fuck up any American they encounter, because most Americans are not going to have that. Most Americans are not going to have that kind of paperwork. In fact, there's a hell of a lot of Americans that walk around with no state ID or driver's license on them either. You've seen cops, America's Most Wanted, and shows like that where they pull somebody over and the guy is driving a car with no ID, which is a moving violation. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have any fucking rights. So that's a really bad statement. But I'm going to submit to you, and this is aimed directly at my beloved MAGA. I believe that is very much the sentiment of many folks identifying as MAGA right now. Being honest, it's mainly because they don't expect it to happen to them. If you're living in rural Georgia somewhere, the mindset is there's a bunch of Somalis, it's a sanctuary city, fuck them. Do whatever you want to do to them. Because the belief is it's never going to happen here in southern Georgia. That's where this is coming from. You can do this stuff to other people, just don't do it to me. Now, I want to give you guys a clip because I think this is worthy of hearing it. I don't know what's going on TikTok. I may have to end up resetting TikTok. Now, I know TikTok just had a change of ownership. So I don't know why the numbers are incredibly low, but I may have to reset the live on TikTok. But the rest of you folks on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, nothing will change. We'll give it a minute on TikTok, but I don't know why it's that low. Help us in Minneapolis. It's chaos over here. ICE agents are just doing their job. No, ICE agents are not just doing their job. And there's plenty. You're telling me taking citizens in, bringing American citizens out of their houses in their underwear and shit, you really think that's ICE's job? And just releasing them? No, they're going way beyond. There's way too many Americans being detained and getting caught up in this for ICE to just be doing their job. The fact that the federal government does not want any other entity to be involved in investigations and are allowing them to wear masks so you don't know, that shows they don't believe they're just doing their job. They're covering their tracks while doing what they're doing so that you can't identify them. You can't get involved in the state investigation. Nothing they're doing suggests that they're just doing their job. So I think that's hogwash, their Blake third design. They're not just doing their job. TikTok users, bear with me for a minute. I'm going to reset the live. I don't know why it's that low, but I'll reset it. But the rest of you folks, I will continue on. I don't know why the numbers in the TikTok are that low. What makes you think citizens are being deported? Stop impeding, and this wouldn't happen. It's not being deported, being wrongfully detained. We're not talking about being deported. They have no right to stop people and demand they prove citizenship that are doing nothing wrong, committing no crimes. They're doing that to Americans. That's not their job. That's not even legal. No one should be stopped and have the law demand they prove that they're a citizen of the country. That should never happen. That should never happen. If you're stopping people and demanding they prove they're a citizen of the nation, you should have a legitimate reason for why you're doing that. Like, we're looking for a guy that looks like you or a guy that lives in this house. There should be just to stop some dude on the street and just say, well, prove you an American. I don't think any of the agents doing that would favor having that done to their families. So no, that is not doing your job. That's going above and beyond the Bill of Rights. And I do believe there will come a day when they will have to answer for that. But you can't just stop a random person and tell them prove. I mean, what else? You want to stop gun owners and say prove that you have a right to own a gun for no reason at all? For you Second Amendment loving, do not tread on me folks, would you want the cops to come in your house and just simply demand you prove you have a right to own a firearm? You're not doing anything wrong, just sitting on the couch watching TV, watching a Trump rally, and all of a sudden agents are at your door telling you to prove some shit when you're doing nothing wrong. I think a lot of support coming from MAGA on this stuff is exactly what I just stated. They don't believe it's going to happen to them, but they're fine with it happening to folks that they perceive are enemies, such as sanctuary cities. They perceive sanctuary cities to be enemies of the way they would like the country to be ran. So you can do anything you want to an enemy, just don't do it to me. And what's problematic about that is you don't know what Trump's intentions are. You don't know how far it'll go, because remember, the Venezuelans that voted for Trump kind of were thinking the same thing, and now Trump is actually doing it, quote unquote, to them. Everybody, I'm resetting TikTok, so give me a minute while I get that going. You seeing your stupidity yet, says Jay Fish. I'm not seeing your explanation for what part is stupid. I'm not saying I'm a perfect individual. Shit, I married the wrong bride 20 plus years ago, so I've been stupid before, but you got to let me know what you're referring to. And then I'll let you know if I'm seeing, quote unquote, my stupidity. I'm still trying to reset TikTok here. Unless you bums believe in a police state. Minnesota is under a police state. That is absolutely what Minnesota is dealing with right now, because the state government does not want those federal folks there. Neither does the citizens of Minnesota. They don't want them there, yet they are there. That is a police state. They are there against the wishes of everyone. They are dealing with big government defined. So yeah, they definitely in Minnesota are under a police state. I don't think there's any other way to look at that. Now we can suggest that the federales are there. The federal government is there to do what you may think needs to be done. We can argue that, but they are absolutely under a police state in Minnesota, because there's nothing they can do about it. Cadet Bone Spurs distracting from that Epstein list. I don't think by the way, I don't think there's any need to distract from the Epstein list for Trump. I don't think he really needs to do that. Creole's nature says no one see how chess works. No, because you guys are always suggesting that Trump is playing chess, and I don't ever hear him yelling checkmate. When does playing chess ever culminate into a bona fide win for the American? No, I don't see how chess works. I don't see it. You guys said the same thing with the whole we're going to own Greenland thing was playing chess. I don't see where anybody's yelling checkmate. So if he's playing chess, he's not doing a good job at it, at least in my opinion. I think TikTok has reset. We'll see if the numbers don't act. It was really low, like 30 or something like that. We normally have, significantly more people than that. I don't know why it was down that low. The game isn't close to being over. No, that is true. He has 3 more years in office. Laughing my ass off, Trump would be terrible at chess. I don't know, but I don't think he's playing chess. I think he's more or less winging it. I'll give you an example. I think when it comes to owning Greenland, Trump is an alpha male. Trump is a competitive individual. He is used to winning in his corporate America business life. He is used to winning. He is used to being a bully, so to speak, a narcissist, if you want to add that in there. So he's an alpha male. He likes to project strength. Fine. Many people favor that, certainly for America. When he indicated that he wanted to own Greenland, and despite J.D. Vance negotiating with them and Marco Rubio talking to the powers that be among NATO, his statement was nothing short of complete ownership of Greenland would be acceptable. That's what the Trump administration President Trump took to social media himself and said, if nothing short of owning Greenland, complete, I believe his words were complete control, complete ownership and control of Greenland. Nothing short of that was acceptable. Now you hear him talking about we made a deal. That is significantly short of complete ownership and complete control. But the fact is, as I stated, he's an alpha male. He wants to project strength. He wants to look like he's on top. I had a viewer on here from Greenland yesterday that said they have heard of no such deal being made, and he's in the country. He is a citizen of Greenland. They've heard no such deal being made. He said that the sentiment in Greenland and Denmark is that they see what Trump is saying is a lie. There's no deal been made. My point is, Trump, with our superpower of a military, world's greatest, most powerful military, figured that Greenland would be an easy rollover with their population of only 56,000, very similar to how we easily rolled over Maduro in Venezuela. Never expected all of the NATO member nations to stand up to him. They essentially stood up to Trump and indicated, we don't give a damn how strong the American military is. We're willing to die on this hill. Give us liberty or give us death. You may be familiar with that phrase. And Trump wasn't expecting that. He was expecting Venezuela. He was expecting Iran. He was not expecting all of those NATO member nations to start putting troops in Greenland like, you're going to have to kill us. Fuck it. You're going to have to kill us. We don't give a damn. Liberty or death. And it forced him to back down. But because he is a alpha male, you hear him playing macho man at the rallies and things like that. He don't want you to know he backed down. So he's telling you he made a deal. Notice you're not getting any of the information on that deal, the parameters or how we benefited from that deal. You're not hearing any of that. But if you say you made a deal, you save face, as opposed to it getting out that you really just backed down in the face of a host of nations that were willing to fight to the death. That's what actually happened, is NATO stood up to Trump, and likely the advisors, the associates, and people close to Trump told him, this is a horrible, horrible thing to continue. And he backed down. I don't think we got any deal, quote unquote, out of Greenland because we already had access to the whole damn continent. What more could they offer us other than complete and total control and ownership of the continent? That was the only thing they could give us, is their entire fucking country. We already had access to everything else. They were already a staunch ally of America. So that deal didn't happen. But he had to tell you that to prevent from letting you know they backed my ass down. I mean, that's really what happened. And like I said, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe any sort of media. Just understand, if you don't hear any parameters of that deal, Trump said it's a great deal. Okay, great. How? What do we get out of it? What do we get from that deal that we would not have gotten had you not did what you did? That's where the alleged playing chess comes to mind. You're playing chess. Okay, show us what you got out of it. If you don't hear anything that we got out of it, it's because we didn't get shit. He backed down. Anyway, look it in the comments. We're going to get into what happened to Alex Pretty. It's a shame, but I do want to hear from you folks whether you feel what took place with him is justified or something sinister. Now, I want to release to you a statement. This came by way of Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem. I think this is noteworthy because it has a historical precedent to go along with it.
Individuals showed up to impede a law enforcement operation and assaulted our officers. They responded according to their training and took action to defend the officer's life and those of the public around him. And I don't know of any peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign. This is a violent riot when you have someone showing up with weapons and are using them to assault law enforcement officers.
Now she's saying, you hear her saying, you don't know anybody. She doesn't know anybody that shows up to a peaceful protest with a gun. Have we not forgot the guy on my monitor? Is Kristi Noem old enough to remember this? This guy showed up to a protest as a peaceful protester with a gun. What happened to this? Now, the same folks, because it ain't just Christy, no, make no mistake about it. She's not the only one criticizing what happened. My beloved MAGA also has the same sentiment as Christy Nome. Why would he show up as a peaceful protester with a gun? Yet, what the hell happened with this guy? The one and only Kyle Rittenhouse that had not only the support of MAGA and the right, got a White House invite. I believe Ricky Schroeder of the 80s comedy series Silver Spoons actually paid his legal fees or loaned him the money for legal fees to the tune of 600 grand. 600 grand to help buy this guy a lawyer. What happened to that? So what Christy Nome is saying shows complete hypocrisy coming from the right about showing up to a protest while armed. Didn't have any problem with Kyle Rittenhouse showing up armed whatsoever. And by the way, Kyle Rittenhouse was by no means the only one doing that. I mean, it was a host of them that showed up, it was a host of folks on the right that showed up to that protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, carrying long rifles and firearms. No clue why all of a sudden, what is his name? Pretty, can't think of the first name of the guy, but Alex Pretty, the 37-year-old VA nurse. I have no clue why all of a sudden he shows up with a firearm and it's suddenly wrong. And I mean, listen, folks showed up on January 6th as allegedly peaceful protesters carrying weapons. Why is this guy getting treated so differently? Somebody let me know that. So let's see in the comments before we start taking calls. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 10,000. Maybe that'll clear up what's going on with TikTok, because I don't know why it's that fucking low. It's called exercising Second Amendment rights, period. I'll tell you something else also. The NRA has released a few statements, but this really shows you how biased the NRA is. They don't give a shit about gun owning issues, firearm issues. If it's somebody on the left, gun rights getting interfered with. Like Ahmad Diallo, the African-American that was in the car and he got shot a bunch of times, reaching in his glove compartment at the officer's request to show his license. You don't hear the NRA show up at all for people on the left. So it does really show that the NRA is a little bit less about the protecting Second Amendment rights for American citizens and more or less some sort of pseudo arm for the Republicans or the right-wing side of this country. Because they don't really respond at all when it happens to people on the left. Looking at the comments, no, it's against the U.S., says Creole Nature. So you think this whole thing is not, and listen, I think that what's taking place in Minnesota could spread, but I want to hear from you folks. And you also continue by saying it reminds me of Hitler. Wow. Division have others. Okay, Creoles, you said it reminds you of Hitler. A lot of folks are saying the same thing. You says division have others turn in friends, etc. Then rule in slavery. It's scary to me. I don't know if slavery is on the menu going forward, but there are friends turning in friends. That absolutely is happening. There absolutely are Americans that may see a home with a bunch of immigrants, or not even immigrants, just people speaking Spanish, or a bunch of brown people. And because they don't have a good opinion of those folks, call ICE and suggest that these folks must be illegals. I'm sure that is happening. I'm certain that Americans are calling ICE on other Americans. That absolutely is happening. Just my 4 cents, not 2 cents, huh? Just my 4 cents. I like that. Cal was arrested and charged with murder, correct? Yes, he was. And the same folks saying that it's wrong to peacefully bring a gun to a protest said the arrest of Kyle Rittenhouse was wrong. Now all of a sudden, Christy Nome, you already know where she would have came down on the issue of Kyle Rittenhouse being arrested. Now look what she is saying. That's the point we're making. What she is saying as a government official is hypocritical for certain. Christy fake doll ain't shit. Says handsome evil figure. You're saying Christy Nome is a fake doll and she ain't shit. I'll leave it at that. Let me go to the box and see if I can make this TikTok thing work. What started out with evil Majin Buu. It looked like he was trying to help another citizen who was slammed on the ground. His weapon was taken and then he was shot. I wish I could tell you I saw something different. I wish I could say I saw something different. Evil, good evening. Or good afternoon, rather. I don't know if let me make sure my volume is can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you've seen the video by now?
Well, I've seen a little bit of it though,
Okay.
and this is some really messed up shit, man.
Messed up how? Do you think the agents were acting in self-defense? Do you think what they did was wrong? Messed up how?
It's called cold-blooded murder.
Ooh.
That is what it is called. That's how messed up this is. And this city is under siege.
This city, are you on the ground in Minneapolis?
No. But like I have family there, but it is just that this is not America anymore. Nothing about this says make America great anymore. This is all about America is killing America now.
Well, I got a slight pushback on suggesting it's not about Make America Great. But before I go into that, Louis Miguel, thank you for sharing the live. In fact, for you folks on TikTok, I would ask that you take a page from Louis, share the live. It might help with the numbers. It would certainly help the program out. Share the live. By the way, if you're doing that on any platform, feel free to share the live, but definitely on TikTok. In regards to
hit that TikTok go.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. We'll get into help your boy out with the TikTok cap go. Yeah, we'll certainly get into that. But in regards to suggesting that this is not making America great again, many are going to say that sanctuary cities are illegal, harboring immigrants, particularly Somalis that are committing acts of fraud. By sending ICE in there and cleaning all that out, that is making America great again, is what many are going to suggest. What say you?
Honestly, I would say that to make America great once again is to leave the Somalian people it is alone.
What if there are Somalis that are not only committing acts of fraud, costing American taxpayers millions of dollars, but there are some that are in the country that have no legal right to be here and may have committed crimes while they've been here illegally? Is that not a problem to address?
I would say yes, but don't make it to the point where you have to start bashing those race of people. Don't take it to the point of where if you know that there is fraud, you do it in a decent manner way. Don't just start, questioning people. You are going to their businesses, causing, hell. You are pointing the finger at like everybody and all that. That is no way to do.
I get what you're saying, but many, listen, the other side has an objection which suggests that this would not have gotten out of hand if the protesters were not interfering with ICE agents simply trying to do their job. There, you've seen Renee Nicole Good being she literally was blocking the street. We can argue whether or not the killing of her was.
She was. Yeah. See, the thing is, though, she was blocking the street a little bit, but as a professional...
A little bit? She was blocking an entire lane of traffic. She was blocking as much of the street as her car... Wait, hold on.
A little bit.
She was blocking as much of the street as her car could do. I mean, her car wasn't long enough to block both lanes.
She wasn't blocking it not all that much, though. She was just blocking it very little. Now, here is the other thing, though. The officer or the ignorant, stupid ass ICE officer, he made a stupid, uneducated move by shooting her. He had every possibility to get out of the way or move or to dodge by
Why should he have to do?
car.
Why should any driver have to do that when this person is just blocking the street for? Why is she blocking the street?
Honestly, I really don't know. I think it was because of her partner that that she was basically with. I think the reason why she was blocking the street, her partner was outside doing something else.
Her partner, and that's the thing. Her partner's just sitting there telling her to drive off. And J Girl, thank you for the J Girl 007. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Appreciate that. Starting the program off. Appreciate that. But she was blocking the street, deliberately telling folks to go around. She was intentionally blocking the street. Do you not see anything wrong with that at all? And I'm not saying she deserved to get what happened to her, but do you not see anything wrong with what she was doing?
I would say common sense, no. She wasn't. She should have never really been there, though. Yeah. Okay. But the thing is, though, either her partner should have been not outside, and her partner should have been inside of the vehicle talking.
That's why the partner was outside the vehicle. Even Major Boo, they had no intentions of moving. She's blocking the street, telling people to go around, and her partner's outside. They just roaming around. They're just roaming around the street, blocking traffic. I mean, so clearly they were not trying to go anywhere until all of a sudden the officer got out the car and started making threats. Now all of a sudden her car works perfectly and she's ready to leave. But I want to ask you this comment here because in the comments, Joe BX says, you don't understand that a vehicle can be used as a Ginger. Thank you very much. We'll address that in a minute. Says you don't understand that a vehicle can be used as a weapon as soon as they are is the perceived that is kind of grammatically off, but he says the perceived intent of bodily harm, vehicle homicide, gun. Now, what about the notion that exactly what she lost her life for was happening? She was driving a vehicle towards an officer standing there.
I don't think she was driving towards the officer to do anything, as I said, and I see Gangster Grandma in here. She is, yeah.
I'm sure she got a lot of friendly things to say. I'm sure she has a lot of friendly things to say.
Right. I agree with her, but the thing is, though, she should have never been in the street in the first place, though. Yeah.
So in other words, even though you may not agree with what happened to her, you do believe her actions likely led up to the chain of events causing her to perish.
And I would say in some cases, yes. I would say a 78% yes, but I would say the other percent of that 55%.
78 and 55. What kind of? Listen, if you're going to say 78% of that was not her fault, 22% of what she did was wrong, and the other 78% was on. I would have agreed with that. But 78 and 55. I don't know what kind of math. You sound like Trump talking about getting 1,000% back on drug prices. I don't know where you got that from. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I will be like Trump. I will plead the fifth.
Okay. I won't argue with that. But let's get off of Renee Nicole Good, because unfortunately now we got another individual that's lost his life.
Yeah.
What's your take on this one? Did he do anything wrong?
No, he was exercising his freedom of speech right, though. And he did not have no right to be shot and to be ganged up on by these stupid, insane, pure evil oath keeper
Damn.
of ICE. That's how bad this looks. And regardless of not, I don't mean to offend, oath keepers or.
I think you just did. I think you just did. But wait a minute. Billy Buckeye Nation Georgia says they keep fucking around and finding out. So
Yeah. So eventually, ICE and the Oath Keepers are gonna have a rude they will have a rude.
How are they going to have a rude awakening? I mean, as long as they're wearing masks and balaclavas, nobody's ever going to even know all of who these people were.
LL Cool J said, "Mama will knock you out." So, so shit will start happening.
I don't know. We got 3 more years of this though. Evo Major Boo. It's still quite a bit of time.
Right though, and the thing is though, the next 3 years is going to be hell. This is a dark time for America. We shouldn't be in this dark time. And moving forward, when the midterms come up, though, we have to be critical thinking. We cannot start letting these fake politicians, or we can't let these people try to cloud our judgment mind of who should we start electing as a president. Though we have
but you do realize a lot of folks
have to have critical thinking though. We need to be very critical thinkers.
But let's be clear. While what's happening in Minneapolis is viewed as unpopular by many folks, and Trump poll numbers are kind of, they've taken a serious dip. Understand that it's not like the Democrats who would end up being the opposition. Their poll numbers are not that good even right now. With all of this chaos happening, the Democrat poll numbers are way the hell down. So I'm going to ask you, with all of this happening, all the criticism towards Trump, you would think the poll numbers for Democrats would be pretty high. Why are they so low too? Are they no better than what folks are saying about Trump?
I think they're low. It's because people are on edge though. So on both both sides though. But I am going to mention to you is that I saw something last night, and as I was watching your live your other live from the other day. They said that the polls for it was for Florida State. The Democrats won that one, so
the Democrats
were aware of that though. So
in and off your election being 2025, the Democrats are winning everywhere. But I'm just simply saying, Democrats are still polling pretty bad. Now it could be because they're currently leaderless. They're expected to do exceptionally well in the midterms. There's no denying that. Right. Even Fox News, their hosts are saying that they think the Democrats are going to do well in the midterms, but at the national level, they're still not polling very well. So there has to be something still viewed as wrong with the Democrat Party by a lot of Americans. What could that be?
I honestly think that we need to get a candidate that will be logically thinking.
Anybody in mind? You got anybody in mind?
honestly, I hate saying it though, but after what I've seen and what people are really saying, and I might just be like a little bit off though, but I would honestly say if Jack Smith, if he can
Jack Smith, the attorney that tried to prosecute Trump.
I know. It is a far fetched though.
No,
I know that though. But the thing is though, you really have to hand it to him though.
Like, just because, really listen, this is the problem. I'm gonna have to move it on, but let me just say this before I let you go. This is the problem I believe that I foresee with the Democrat Party, and if I'm wrong, you guys will certainly let me know in the comments. But you got to run on something. You can't just go in. You can't just celebrate those who went after Trump. It can't just be the party of anti-Trump. It has to be a party that stands on something. The only claim to fame Jack Smith has is he went after Trump. Democrats didn't favor him before that. So, and that applies to a whole lot of people that the Democrats are starting to like. It's got to be a party that actually stands on something other than we don't like Trump. And there's a lot of legitimate reasons for Democrats to not like Trump. After all, he did say he hates Democrats and Democrats hate America. So there's no reason to like Trump if you're on the left. But you got to actually have something to run on. Last word to you.
Okay, well, I would say my last thing is that we need to just have critical thinking moving forward. We cannot vote with our eyes shut, though. We need to have critical thinking. And the other last thing is that we cannot pick a president that has imaginary friends, Jason Voorhees, Hannibal Lecter, come on out. I love you both.
But you're going back to the anti-Trump sentiment. I get the legitimacy of not liking Trump if you're on the left. I get that. But it's gotta be what are we gonna do for the people? Evil, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it as always. Doors always open to you, man. Thank you.
Hey,
you too. All right, appreciate
care.
it. You too. Looking in the comments real quick. Someone had a strong, listen, we don't block, ban, or censor. Let me make it clear. Our program is all about free speech. I always say we're MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly, always will be. Liberals are welcome on the program as well. You can be critical of anyone here up to and including yours truly. And that is what Ivan Lindell, he says FUPOS. So he basically didn't like my spiel against the Democrat Party and responded with, fuck you, piece of shit. Appreciate your input, Ivan. Anyway, going back to the comments and tap the screen, get the likes on up to 30,000. We can make that happen if you let your thumbs not be lazy, and I'll try not to be a piece of shit. Try to be an entertaining host, and you try to help your boy out with the hat and mustache or the TikTok cap. Go support the program with the handsome conservative stating, I know what people are saying, support your local liberal. Thank you, handsome conservative. What in the African Nazi am I watching, says Ron Short. Well, you're not watching any African Nazis at this point. I'll let you know if one comes on, but you're not tuned into one as we speak. Billionaires are only players. They tell you to pick a side, then pitch you against one another while they pick your pockets. Sassy Mo, I agree with that. I'm in Ireland, but all worldwide politics is American, says Terry. When I lived in Australia, it was the same thing. I used to tell them, they used to talk about, they used to criticize Americans and all that. And I was kind of narcissistic in some of my statements also. It's kind of like, I used to tell them, Australia is like an employee and America's like the CEO. You can get on the elevator with your CEO. He wouldn't recognize you from anybody. You know who your CEO, you know who he is because all the decisions he makes affects you. Nothing about your life affects him at all. He could get rid of you overnight. Now, the Australians hate it when I used to say that, but I'm like, we don't need to know what you guys are doing over here. You need to know what we're doing. That's why you follow our politics. We don't follow yours because your politics don't affect us. Our politics affects you. Almost got me in a few fights. And if any of my friends from Australia are watching, my apologies in this horrible time we're in right now. Looking in the comments though, why is it that so many people think obstructing is not a problem? It is a problem. It not only is obstructing justice a problem, it's also a crime. However, it is not punishable by death automatically. You're not supposed to use lethal force unless you're using it to stop a suspect or an assailant from using lethal force against someone else. And many would argue that's not what happened in the case of Renee Nicole Good. And when it comes to Alex Pretty, it looks even worse. I think even though I don't favor what happened to Renee Nicole Good, I think there's a case to be made. I don't see any case to be made with Alex Pretty. I don't see any case at all. I see them subduing the guy, patting him down, realizing he had a firearm, disarming him, yelling out he had a firearm, and then shooting him. I don't see him holding that firearm in any video from any angle. If any of you see that, let me know. But simply having a firearm on you, which is 100% legal in just about every state in the union, doesn't automatically involve you being shot. Gangsta Grandma, good evening. Renee was in a weapon. Yeah, like I said, there's
God, your ass is not on your knees today for the white man. I hope to God you're not. And you better not do it. I'll shit you know. I'll come back up here.
Okay, the white man lost his life yesterday in Minneapolis. What say you?
No, he was the good one. He was an ally. Why can't the maggots do that shit?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, Kyle Rittenhouse was trying to protest peacefully.
Yeah, that was a maggot.
Was he not a good guy? You just said wait a minute.
A complete ass maggot.
A peaceful protester with a firearm.
That was a peaceful protest. Get the fuck out of here. A white boy should never have been over there. He was an effing kid with an AR-15.
Give me the difference of how you view Pretty in Minneapolis versus Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha. What's the difference?
One had a legal permit, and the other one was a dumb fuck. That's the difference. The other one did not have one.
What?
The other one was a fucking kid that didn't know shit. It would never be shit.
Well, why would you? Well, Kyle Rittenhouse was 17. Why would you suggest Kyle Rittenhouse was a quote unquote dumb fuck?
Well, I mean, it's kind of obvious, don't you think?
Well, I got to tell you, he's doing a lot better than Alex Pretty, is he not?
Alex Pretty was only trying to help somebody for getting pepper sprayed. So get that smirk out your fucking face. That was a fucked up shit to say.
Okay, but when you say Alex Pretty was only trying to help someone, I got a viewer that points out, why won't people realize that obstructing justice is wrong? You can't
He wasn't doing that, though.
Yeah, that's not true.
What the fuck is it, man? Why don't you get off your fucking ass, man? Why don't you get off your fucking knees for the white man and quit taking it up the ass without a fucking lube, man?
What?
I mean, you always defend the white man. But what has he done for your black ass? Not a goddamn thing. He's not doing shit for your ugly ass. You want to ship your ass a bone fucker too. If you could do that, you dumb fuck.
Okay, how about the notion that I'm not defending the white man, but rather
Yes, you really are.
defending justice. And I see Yois Eric TV says, hang on a second, lady. Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't even been on.
Your lady,
hold on, you listen.
To my face, though.
I can't call you a
lady. I'll check your fat ass the fuck out.
I can't call you a lady. What do you want me to call you then?
No, I know how you said it like that, you chauvinistic ass fucking pig.
I can't even use the word lady. Really?
Not like that. Not like that. I'll take your black ass out. Boy, my brother taught me how to fucking fight.
I said hang on lady, and that's insulting to you.
No, you said it in a fucked up way. Terrorize your black ass.
I tell you, this is why a lot of folks on the right suggest that you liberals can make an insult out of any word in existence.
They can suck my dick too. How about that? And I got 8 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches. Hell fucking to the yeah. I got more balls than they fucking do. Little fucking. Oh my god.
Well, then if you're working, wait, hold on.
Fucking monkeys.
So if you're working with 8 inches, I'm going to ask you the question that is often asked to Lewis. Can you tell me what a woman is?
You don't know what a fucking woman is?
They don't have 8 inches.
Well, yeah, I guess we actually fucking do, actually.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't want to be introduced to a woman with 8 inches.
8 inches, 12 inches, hell fucking to the yeah, we do.
It sound like you don't know what it sound like.
We're not basic, Pookie. We're not basic.
Are you a member of the LGBTQ community with 8 inches?
Well, I am bisexual, so yeah.
Oh my God, this is really getting.
You never heard of a toy before? Damn, you are beyond basic for real.
I'm beyond not know.
You don't use like straps or nothing. Damn, you are. I'm being honest, honey. Then you beyond basic. If you've never seen a strap or anything, and you think that's fucking weird, then the only thing you know how to do is lay on your fucking. You only gotta do is let a woman lay on her back and do nothing.
Why do I wait? Hold on. Why do I need a strap introduced into a room where I have it naturally? I don't want a strap in the room with me.
You motherfuckers can't even use it right. You guys come in 2.2 fucking seconds. At least a woman can fucking. At least a woman with a strap, honey, we know how to get our fucking freak on. At least we can have an orgasm. Half the time we have to lie about it. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, okay?
Okay.
We'll keep it a whole fucking buck.
I don't even.
Buddy.
That ain't just keeping it a buck. You're working with counterfeit money. Eric,
that counterfeit money makes us and every damn thing else. Thank you.
That money was printed by George Floyd. It's Eric TV says Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't even be over there, and I do agree. Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been there either. Following up, he says, but them domestic terrorists don't belong over there as well. Where was all this? Wait, hang on. Let me conclude. Hang on. I want to finish his statement. He says that them domestic terrorists don't belong over there as well. He says, where was all this for Obama now that they hate ICE? So he's saying that ICE was viewed positively under Obama.
I'm so sick of this bullshit about, it's Obama. Let me tell you something, you fucking idiot morons, you special ed fucking dropouts. Let me tell y'all something. With your sorry ass fucking damn snow ass monkeys. Let me tell you this, okay? Let me tell you.
I'm listening.
When Obama did it, he did it when they gave them what is that called when they give you your rights and stuff? They gave them
due process. Due process. You're talking about due process.
Yeah, due process, bitches. Yo, so-called yes, Jesus. Yo, yes, master. You fucking poor. I can't say that loud. Go to jail.
Do you have a problem with white people against the grandma?
Yep, I sure do. I admit it. I have a problem with the orange fucking maggots. That's the goddamn problem. I fucking got. I don't like this. Sorry, I hate them. I hate the maggots.
Do you not listen?
You know why I hate the maggots? Because they don't like our black asses. How about that?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question because obviously,
I'm not like you.
The hat clearly says "Make America Great Again." What problem do you have with making this country great again?
When was it great for us, black and brown folks?
I don't know.
Back in the 30s when they were deporting Mexicans, the United States citizens. What's up with that, huh? When was that fucking great for the Mexicans? In the 60s when we had a fight and they put dogs on our asses for civil rights. When was that fucking great? How about the 50s? How about slavery? When was America fucking great for us? So get off your knees. Get off your knees, get the cock out your fucking mouth, and be a black man. And quit drinking the bleach.
I don't think In the comments, I see MFI says, I could listen to her all day. She needs her own show. So you do have a fan out there, but no one
has all kinds of them. You know what? They be all up in my inbox saying, when are you going to come and read his little chicken neck? You know what I mean? Yeah, they always. But when was it, Timmy Tim? You Uncle fucking Ruckus? When was America fucking great for us? Tell me. I want to know the day, the time.
Maybe
it's been great. It's for the white man.
Maybe the president, and meaning President Donald J. Trump, is not so self-centered enough to focus on race, maybe President Trump, maybe
I know you're ugly.
you asked the question. You asked the
Are you
question.
fucking serious?
I was. You didn't give me a chance to
You
finish.
actually didn't ask about lube. I got some lube for you. You at least you want some fucking lube. I mean, how many inches are you taking?
Ma-
I take 8 inches, honey. I take 8 to 12. But at least I'm a fucking female, and at least it's chocolate, and I don't get salmonella. Okay?
Maybe now I'm going to answer your question in its entirety. Maybe President Trump is not so damn focused on race to think when was America. I'm trying to answer your question. You asked the question. Then why ask it then? Why ask the question if you don't want the answer?
Why is it gonna be not so selfish? He's thinking about us.
I'm trying to answer the question. I'm trying to answer the question.
What has he passed for us?
How about this? Anthony in the comments points out color has nothing to do with this. It's up to the person how the change goes on, period. What say you?
Get the white cock out of his mouth. How about that? Tell him to quit bending over for the white man. Yes, master. You know what? Yesterday I went on a bunch of house ninjas. And I put them all in their place. You know what they said? You're a white woman, aren't you? I said, bitch, if I was white, I wouldn't be up on this bitch. I would, because I'd be racist. You feel what I'm saying? But no, I told them what the fuck I was. And you know what? I spilled, you know what they told me? I didn't know my own fucking history. You know what I told them? I told them to go fuck off. And you know what I told them? I got 8 inches, 12 inches, and I do have like a 16 inch, but nobody could ever think that one. But yeah, I told them. And you know what? They didn't even know what happened in the fucking 30s. Do you understand how dumb the black MAGA is? They didn't even know what fucking happened in the fucking 30s.
You think all black MAGA is unintelligent? And Handsome Evil Finger says, hold on, gangster grandma, hang on. Handsome Evil Finger says Tim can't win for nothing. LOL. Channel gangster grandma to calm down. I'm trying to get her to calm down.
You ain't gonna calm me down unless you got some chocolate ding-a-ling. And honey, that ain't shit. And honey, I don't fuck with Black MAGA, and I don't really don't fuck with Chimmy Chim because he's a fucking damn.
Why not get your hands on a good white man? Why not that?
You got me booked. I'm pro-black. Nope, can't do it.
Maybe you need some diversity. You might need some diversity.
I have uncooked meat inside of me. I will have to go and get like douched out. Like I have to go get bleached out. I gotta do some shit.
Maybe perhaps you know what might be good for you. You know what might be good for you. You know what might be good for you. Why are you going off on a white man? You might need some diversity in your love life. That might be what helps you out.
I have all kinds of diversity. I have all my what is it called? I have all my allies. They diverse, but I just don't fuck with they in their pants. I apologize. I don't fuck with uncooked meat.
Now,
they know this.
I got a comment directed at you, but I want to read it in its entirety, so try not to interrupt me here. Yo is Eric TV says, she only loves Obama because he was all for the LGBTQ premium gays, whatever that is. He said he did not do anything for blacks. No, who did? Trump did way more for black people. So he's suggesting that.
Okay, name me one thing that motherfucking white man did. And I can name you one biggest thing Obama did. Obama gave us Obamacare. It may not be the best, but a lot of black folks, like myself and everybody else, would got to use it. My mom and my dad did. So go fuck yourself with your white trailer trash ass. How about that?
Well, he said, okay.
Tell me one thing that this motherfucker did in the first term and this term to give a fuck about us. Name me one thing. One bill that passed. Give it to me.
Well, they're going to bring up. They're going to bring. Okay.
You want to have cock in your mouth? Take it out. Tell me what one thing this motherfucker did for us.
You're not letting. Listen.
Is that it, Timmy Chicken? Come on, get some ball. I'm trying to give you some goddamn ball. This is why the white man walks on top of your ugly fucking ass.
What?
Yes, master, you uncle fucking ruckus. I can't fuck with you. If you was fine looking and you had a six pack and you had the fucking balls, I might fuck with you, ugly ass. I might turn you black and fuck again. But unfortunately, you're too goddamn white for me to even try to fuck with because your ugly ass is only caping for the white man and I was caping for the, as they say, the snow roaches.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. In addition to calling me ugly and all this, what you calling me white?
You ugly to the bone. You're ignorant. That's what the fuck you is.
Okay.
Don't even know your fucking own history. I'll tell you, you a real white man in a black man body.
I'm Wayne Brady. You guys always call. I want you to hear something because you asked a question, and I believe that your question about what Trump has done for the black man is probably best answered by President Trump himself.
Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump.
Did you hear him? Listen. I want you to listen to him.
Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump. And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done.
How about that? Nobody says Abraham Lincoln. This guy.
What did he say he did, though? You fucking rugrat? What did he say?
Well,
he's the only thing that motherfucker did go, hey, I did more for the black man than anybody fucking else. What did he fucking do?
Well, you do understand.
I'll wait.
Okay.
You know what? I have white shit all over my fucking hands that I'm trying to peel off. You know what I mean? So I'm just asking, for being real, what the fuck did a white man do for us?
Well, I'll give you this point. If Trump gets a lot of these folks out of the country that are here undocumented, he suggests that will create a lot of black jobs.
Yeah, back in the fucking field, you dumb nut. You are a true dumb nut. You are a bag of fucking dum-dums, my ninja. You feel what I'm saying? My ninja. I can't even call you. I will call you the white boy that is in the ninja party. Because I can't believe, he's going to put us back in the fucking, are you happy? You might lose some fucking weight, though, honestly. Because you have bending your ass over and shit. You feel what I'm saying?
And I see y'all X1 says you're cooking. Listen, and I see Eric B for president. He got a lot of fans out there. He says, I love her. Listen.
I put the white man in the fucking goddamn fucking field. How about that? And show them. You say, yeah, you are my mate. Shit. You ain't gonna touch me, but I'll be damned you be in there picking my fucking vegetables. Give them a taste of fucking reality, what their ancestors did, and what they trying to do now. History is repeating itself. All jokes are fucking aside. History is repeating itself. Back in the 30s, look what they're doing now. And what? You think your black ass is not gonna be taken?
Let me ask it to you this way. Is there anything that Trump and MAGA can do to make you happy?
Yeah. Go drink some poison.
What?
Yeah. Unalive. I wish I pray. You know, I pray. I'm a good Christian. You feel what I'm saying?
You would say you were a good Christian after saying.
Christian. No, listen, damn. I'm a freaky Christian. I like my dang-a-lang, but at least I'm a freaky Christian. I go to his prayer groups, right? And every day we go to his prayer group and we pray every night that God will take him to the pits of hell. It hasn't happened yet, but I know he's working on it. 2 more Big Macs coming from him. We just need 2 more damn Big Macs, and he's gonna go croak. Yep, that's what we need, man.
Now, after all of what you're saying, suggesting that you would favor MAGA and Trump ingesting poison, you followed by saying I'm a Christian lady. You don't sound very Christian.
Christian.
You don't sound very Christian.
I'm still working on my heart. I can't stand people that have hatred in their heart and say they fucking Christians. I'm a Christian. I don't have hate for nobody, only the maggots. And God's working on me on that. I still can't now. No. I told God every day, if that's the only thing that's going to take me to the pits of hell, I'll go. Because I cannot stand somebody that hates me for the color of my skin or my brother's skin or anybody else's skin. I hate the fact that they judge us.
Everybody in the comments, even the ones that like you. Everyone in the comments, even the ones that like you are making it clear your comments are not Christian-like. I mean,
okay. I'm a freaky Christian and would. I'm not a Bible thumper. I go and I repent every fucking damn week and would. I tell God, work on my heart. And you know what he says? I'm trying. That's what he says. And he ain't helping. But at least I know my Bible, though. At least I'm not out there trying to tell people what they can and cannot do. At least I'm not out there telling you can't fuck somebody that lives the same sex. At least I'm not out there saying, you know what, you're a black man, you're ignorant.
Well,
okay? I'm not out there. I want the maggots to leave me the fuck alone and leave my black people alone and leave my brown people alone and live our fucking lives to thee. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
At least I am.
Okay, the pushback is going to be how is MAGA messing with black people? What are they doing to mess with black people? What are you talking about?
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
Damn, is it that good, Tim?
I'm asking how is MAGA messing with black people? You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. How is?
I will tell you.
Tell me.
What? Tell me again.
How is MAGA messing with black people as you're indicating?
Because they voted for this shit. They voted for this shit, right? They voted for him to strip our everything away from us, like Juneteenth. He didn't even talk about MLK. He wants to take everything, Black history out of our books. They voted for that shit. They voted for this shit that's coming right fucking now. They're doing ICE. They voted for this shit. They don't want nobody that's black and brown in this country. They don't want nobody. They're not just coming for the undocumented with criminal records. Everybody says, get them out of here. They're not. They're coming for everybody. The ones that are working. The ones that are the babies. They're taking babies.
I would need to see evidence that they're only coming for black and brown people, and that's who they want to get out of the country.
How good is that cock in your mouth? Are you dripping yet?
You and this cock thing.
Are you rubbing your own dick because you have cock in your mouth? Are you, Tim? Are you? Where's the white people that are rounding up? Where is the white ones that they are rounding up? Where are they? They're not. They're still at home doing their own thing. Do you realize there's more people on the state bases that are white than this shit? You nut, you bag of fuck. That's why you divorced. I see why your bitch left your ugly ass. I see why. Cause if I married your ugly ass, I'll be in the goddamn penitentiary. I didn't need to fucking with your ugly ass. That's why I don't fuck with men like you.
Ain't no love like a Christian. Ain't no love like Christian love. I gotta move it on.
Like my real damn Christian ass. Yeah. You know why? I do got love. I got love for the people that love me. I got love for the people that school. Like that guy that just got unalived. I feel sorry for him because he didn't have to get unalived. I feel bad for the white woman that got unalived. That was our people that stood up against these motherfuckers. I'm not like you. On my knees for a white man that don't give two fucks about you.
And I'll leave it at that. Gangsta Grandma, I appreciate you coming through. She never makes it easy. By the way, tap the screen. I don't agree with most of that. I know a lot of you guys do. You know, I'm about to start. It's like a pastor in church. I need to have a towel after I talk to Gangsta Grandma. I'll be sweating. She really bashes the hell out of me. In fact, the handsome conservative says, you know what this is for? After dealing with Gangsta Grandma, you should get paid. Thank you, handsome conservative. It ain't easy. It ain't easy to run a program where we allow free speech, and that is what we do here. So when we say we are all for free speech, I think Gangsta Grandma is my best example of that. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. As I state all the time, you can be critical of anyone in this program, including yours truly, which she more than proves. But we're talking about the death of Alex Pretty in Minneapolis yesterday. And I thank you there, Trump-tastic. Now, that's a name. Thank you, says I respect you for that, bro. Yeah, we're about free speech here. You're not going to always hear your political opinions being favored or criticized, for that matter. You're going to hear stuff from all sides of the aisle. This is uncensored programming. We've never had a moderator in all 4 or 5 years. How long we've been on there? Never had a moderator. We do not have a moderator as we speak, and never will. Simply put, moderators are biased. So we believe in free speech, and whoever we would think about putting in as a moderator may not be as favorable to free speech as I am. So we don't have a moderator. So that's how zero censorship works. Wendy Kirby says, can you see my comments? I seen that one. Understand, by the way, folks, before I move on with the program, and tap the screen, get us on up to 40,000. Helps out the program, helps out the algorithm. Understand, and I'll just say this, because if you're watching us on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, follow the program. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, give us a sub. You'll likely see my eyes going all over the damn place. And that is because I have multiple cameras aimed at me with comments. Whoa, Mike the boss. Mike, thank you. Beautiful. Why you got a MAGA hat? I get that question quite a bit. I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name due to the font, but thank you for the input. We have a MAGA hat for the simple fact of what I just stated earlier. We are all about free speech. I do believe that conservatives, Republicans, and often MAGA do not get a fair shake in the media because a lot of media is anti-MAGA. So we have a MAGA hat here, despite my own political leanings, to let MAGA know when you're on this program, it is indeed MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor you because you may have an adversarial opinion. No matter what your opinion is, far left, far right, wherever you are, we don't block your speech. We don't limit your time. We don't dictate what you should say. And the MAGA hat is to let you know, despite the name of this program, we'll let you talk. We're all about being MAGA friendly just across the aisle because liberals are welcome as well. And some conservative says, you know what? Oh, I saw that. Want to make sure before I go to the next caller, they taken down historical monuments of blacks. And that is true. And that is a legitimate reason to criticize the Trump administration, what they're doing to the Smithsonian, what he posted on Juneteenth, not acknowledging MLK Day. Trump 2.0 in regards to African Americans is totally different than 1.0. For instance, what he has said, I've done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln, which was a hell of a thing to say even during his first term, would probably get all sorts of laughter to say it during his second term because all of that stuff that people are able to bring up from his first term, HBCUs, you name, there's nothing there from his second term. And I'm someone who will defend Trump where I see he can be defended. I don't have anything to throw out there for what he's done for blacks during his second term. I don't have anything to provide. So it wouldn't work on the second term. Handsome Evil Finger says, Kendrick Lamar said they not like us. Which one is she, Tim? Asked Gangsta Grandma. She ain't like me. She don't like me at all. But I got called out for lying, apparently, and I can't find my spectacles, by Candy K. Let me know what I'm lying about, Candy K. You can type a lot more than that. We don't block, ban, or censor, so you can be insulting. But if you're going to do it, take the time out to provide some context to your shit. If you just type in lie, clown, idiot, radical left, that shit is meaningless. If you want to call somebody a liar or a radical left or whatever, state your reason why. We're not going to block or ban you. So take the time out, put down the crayons, pick up an actual, brain and type in something that actually goes somewhere. We'll read it out. Let me go back to the box though. We'll start it out with one and only Mike, the boss indeed. Good evening, Mike. Now, I missed you yesterday. I had a family event come up, but Mike, good evening. Or good afternoon.
Yeah, you left the brother right at the gate. That was some bullshit. It was like I was looking at you through the chain link fence. You're like, look, I gotta go.
That was
I'll let you in tomorrow.
That was out of my control. So I
know. I'm fucking with you. I get it. Family first.
Have you seen the video?
I listen. Not only have I seen Tim, I do.
You are Mr. Receipt himself.
I'm Mr. Receipt himself. I looked at the video probably 40, 50 times.
Wow. That's a lot of times to see a man die.
Yeah. And after that, right after I got off the live with you, I was like, oh man, I gotta shut it down because it was a little bit too much. But not only did I see it, I used my mic, my magnifying glass to zoom in because I wanted to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing. And the man was unalived in cold blood. There's no defense for that.
Christy Nome suggests that the deceased was a domestic terrorist again, just like Renee Nicole Good. She says he was a domestic terrorist.
Exactly. And then Stephen Miller came out and said that he was an assassin. He went there. You didn't see that?
No, but it's hilarious. He's a nurse working for the Veterans Administration with no criminal history. An assassin?
Yeah,
wow.
An assassin. He went out there with the intent to unalive federal.
I did see that. He said he's going to kill as many people as possible.
Yeah, in that same quote, he said he was an assassin.
I didn't hear the assassin, but that's hilarious. What the fuck?
Well, Well, the sad part about it, Tim, and I told you this when that happened to Renee. That's why I was pushing back on you and anybody that tells people to just comply when they tell you, even if it means they're violating your constitutional rights. Because now we have a situation where you can't, even when you were equivocating between her not getting out of the car, they asked the man nothing.
Well, what about the notion? Because I'm going to speak on behalf of my beloved MAGA. I got to push back a little bit. Gangsta Grandma would be going off right now. But what about the idea that they were trying to detain a woman and he got in the mix? So what he was doing was a case of obstruction. Now, that doesn't mean you should lose your life. I get that part. But he was obstructing them from their duties.
He wasn't. And again, he wasn't, because the woman that he pushed had nothing to do with it. Both the women that were there, they were just videotaping.
So wait. What are you saying, Mike? They just grabbed the guy and shot him?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That man and those women had nothing to do. They have a right to video. They have a right to say whatever they want to say. Listen, the onus is always on the officers. Period. Full stop. And this is why I was pushing back on you before, Tim, about the Renee shit. The onus is on them, not on the civilian. He didn't do anything to them. They approached him.
Listen, that's a strong statement. I'm under the impression that they were mistreating a woman and he got involved in it. I mean, which still, like I said, doesn't entitle him to what happened to him. Now, real quick before we continue, Ferrari in the comments says Renee followed and bothered the police or the ICE agents for hours, then blocked the road.
Again, I listen. All of these people are going to say what they're going to say because they don't use the critical thinking and all of that shit.
Is there any validity to that though? Was she following him around?
Well, I know that there was another group doing it, but that's not even against the law, and that's the problem.
True.
Even with that being said, she didn't violate any law.
Yeah.
Even if that was true. So here's my problem with what everybody's saying. Even when it came down to Alex yesterday. The man pushed the lady, and if you watch how he pushed the lady, it looked like he was pushing a football sled. He got all of his force, and he pushed that lady down in the snow. Alex went to the lady. He didn't even get approached. He never approached them.
So then let me ask you, Alex went to the lady according to you, and then they went to Alex, obviously. What was Alex? Was Alex complying when they tried to arrest him or whatever?
He had his hands in the air. Matter of fact, Tim, the motherfucker said after they sprayed him in the face with the bear pepper spray, he was saying, it's okay, and his hands were in the fucking air. His hands were literally in the air. Now, when they took him to the ground, then his hands were trying to cover his head. Why were they trying to cover his head, Tim? Because they were kicking and hitting him in the head with that canister of bear spray. Now, I think everybody saw that. This is where I went off last night on a couple of lives. If you watch the video and you get out of your bias and you want to watch it for what happened, you can't come to that conclusion. And then the guy that took it wasn't a pistol, by the way. I just want you guys to be clear. It wasn't a pistol. I thought it was a pistol at first. It was the can of bear spray. Pepper spray.
That's what they've been using. The orange mist that gives a big cone of projection. Yeah.
If somebody's trying to pepper spray you, why are they reaching around you to try to spray it in your face? What does that mean?
They want if they're trying to. But first of all, that means you're no threat to them. You're turned away from them first. But yeah, they're trying to get into the area of effectiveness.
Right. So they pepper sprayed him, and then you got 3 to 5 officers jump on the man. The man is trying to cover his head up because they were kicking and hitting him in the head. The other officer, well, I guess he's an agent, comes over, takes his pistol. As he's taking his pistol away from him, the other officer is pulling his pistol
out of the holster. Yeah,
and pews him in the back. Tim.
Yeah, I've seen it the same way you're saying in most of that. I didn't see them just grab an innocent man and start accosting him. I didn't see that part, but I did see the part where you're saying he's on the ground, they disarm him, and then they also begin blasting him. The guys, I've just seen it in slow motion where the guy's on the ground, clearly subdued, and you see the guy slowly pull his firearm out of his holster and begin blasting him. I don't look with the Renee Nicole Good thing. I also realize a lot of folks feel that's murder as well, and I don't like what happened to Renee Nicole Good, but I could see making some sort of an argument because she was attempting to flee and driving in the direction of an officer. I don't think the guy had to do what he did to save his life at all, but I could see people giving the officer wide latitude, certainly when they scream, I fear for my life. In the case of Alex Pretty, I don't see any case to be made. That just looks terrible.
It was terrible, Tim. And when you slow it down, first of all, if you go back, this man was doing the opposite of what they say Renee was doing. He was directing traffic, Tim.
Yeah.
He was directing traffic with his camera. Everything he did was lawful. And I'm going to say this back to Renee real quick. The coroner autopsy ruled it a homicide. Okay, so let's be clear.
Well, anytime your life is taken unnaturally, I mean, even if it's self-defense, it's still a homicide. I mean, it's you.
No, it's not.
Really? I've seen plenty of self-defense cases ruled as homicides. And thank you, Terry Hayes, 6254. Appreciate the support. I mean, if you take somebody's, self-defense is not listed as a cause of death. It's usually homicide, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Well, they will say the cause of death was a pew wound or something like that. They don't have to rule it. They don't have to rule it the homicide, Tim. They didn't have to. But she got hit 4 times. Let's be clear. She got hit 4 times, not 3, and one of them was in the left side, on the back side.
I get accused all the time of being a coon or a sellout. I've probably seen it 100 times today talking to you folks, particularly when Gangsta Grandma was on there. But I will defend Trump. I will defend the right when I think some things there is something there or some ability to play devil's advocate. With Alex Pretty's case, I can't come up with any reason to indicate why that guy should have been shot. It just looks bad. It looks really bad. Other than, like I seen in the comments, Big Boss, he stated, you guys just need to stay home. That's about the only thing I can think of, is that ICE is treating protesters like, if you're out here, then you're fair game to whatever the hell we do to you. I think, which is obviously a violation of their constitutional rights, the First Amendment, the right to assembly and protest. But I do believe, at the behest of Kristi Noem, at the behest of the likes of Tom Homan, Pete Hegseth, and certainly Donald J. Trump, our president, they're starting to feel emboldened to the point where no matter what happens, he's going to have our back, so don't worry about that.
Well, and he told him that. But let me get back to Big Boss with his Palestinian ass. And the reason I say it that way...
Why is he Palestinian? Is he Palestinian?
He is. Yeah, he is.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know that?
No, I didn't know that. I don't know the.
Yeah.
I got right now as we speak. There's over 1,000. I don't look. There's a lot of people watching, so I don't be knowing.
Let me tell you why I said it the way I said it. Because what he's saying is just stay at home. Your ass would even fucking be here if people would have stayed at home. You got to understand that justice and our laws, they don't bend without pressure. The Constitution would be the Constitution if people didn't fight for rights. If we would have just stayed at home, we would still be back where we were 200, 300, 400 fucking years ago. That's the crazy part about it. Every one of you motherfuckers that come over here where your people swam, flew, or got dropped off in this bitch and have the nerve to tell people to stay at home instead of saying fucking thank you, instead of telling some people thank you, now you're advocating for people to stay at home behind this white supremacist, white Christian nationalist movement. You motherfuckers should be ashamed of yourself because the very things that people are out fighting for is the reason that you're here to begin with. But you can't do it because you have succumbed to being and assimilating to this whiteness. And then you turn around and when you want to vilify those that want to go out and fight. You name me one movement in this country that where people got justice peacefully. Yeah, name me one.
You never will. And by the way, folks on YouTube, you're questioning about blocking the spammer. That has been done. But what about this though, Mike? MAGA Reacts says actual immigrants defending ICE. I wonder now. MAGA Reacts also. We know what is the Egyptian. There are a lot of immigrants, or folks of distant descent, for lack of a better term, Mike, that are defending ICE. What say you?
They've assimilated to the bullshit, Tim. They don't get no fucking pass either. Let's be clear. I don't give a fuck what color you are. You don't get a pass. If you're out defending these 2 incidents that happened, instead of understanding that it's just a precursor to the shit they really want to do, you are not paying attention. These people, matter of fact, have you watched it? Have you heard the audio where those ICE agents were talking about this was pretty cool? It's like Call of Duty. Did you hear that shit?
Pretty cool, like Call of Duty, in regards to what happened to this guy?
Yeah, those same fucking ICE agents that were on those streets were saying when they were moving all of those dumpsters to push the protesters back, and they were pew-pewing those tear gas bombs and all that, they said that this is pretty cool. This is like Call of Duty, and some of them motherfuckers was out there clapping, Tim.
No, I have not heard that, but I do have to ask this question. I think you and I talked about this before. Obviously Alex Pretty, the deceased, is not the only individual in Minneapolis area that owned a firearm. Where are all of the Second Amendment anti-tyranny folks? Why are they all standing down?
I'm glad you brought that up. Boy, that was right on time. These same motherfuckers and a lot of them voted for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're big on 1A and 2A. Even the NRA came out and was like, that's some bullshit, right? But why do you think the NRA is doing that, Tim? Why do you think the NRA, now they spoke out against both sides, but why do you think they spoke up right now?
Well,
because they can see the writing on the wall. You're going to fuck around and have this administration try to take your damn pew-pews out of your hand.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody.
I don't think MAGA would have a problem with that. I make this clear. I believe MAGA is okay with a lot of harsh stuff, up to and including unconstitutional stuff, as long as it happens to them. I believe that they would be okay if they started taking the firearm privileges away from people in Minnesota. It's a sanctuary city. Y'all ain't following the law. Bunch of radical ass leftists anyway. I don't think MAGA would give a damn if they took away the Second Amendment rights of folks in Minnesota.
Of some folks, but not theirs. But yeah, listen.
It's only them getting shot. Ain't no Somali or person of color. It's all white people losing their lives to ICE.
Right now. Right now. Well, actually, that's not true. Those are just the two biggest ones. There's been 32 people that have unalive since Trump's administration this year.
You're right. In custody and everything.
In custody and everything. But see, even the one man that got unalive in the detention center who was saying he can't breathe, and his death was ruled a homicide just recently. They don't talk about him because he was in captivity. He was in the detention center. But my point in all of this is this, Tim. I don't care if you're MAGA, because if you're MAGA, Trump, you're all the same at this point. And I don't care who you are or what side of the fence. If you want to justify this and tell people just to comply, then hold that same logic on anything that happens that breaks the law.
You know it don't work like that.
I know it doesn't, Tim. I know it. I know, but this is why you and I were going back and forth about the Renee thing. The minute you are trying to rationalize with irrational motherfuckers, they're not rational. You can't give them, well, just comply. You can't give them that because they're going to, even when you comply, they still going to snatch you out.
Well, let me tell you why I'm saying the just comply part. And thank you there, truly, I believe that's to me, but regardless. But that's why I'm saying the just comply part is because I believe we're now at a point of comply or die. I'm not saying comply and they're going to treat you right. I believe you can comply and still have them violate your constitutional and your civil rights. I believe that can happen even if you are complying, because I think some of them folks out there just simply do not like certain types of people. So there's nothing you can do with that. But I'm saying comply because if you don't, they'll kill you. They'll kill you.
This man, hold on, let's be clear. That's what you said about Renee. This man didn't do shit and he's still gone. This man didn't do anything other than try to. Tim, he didn't do anything. Clearly, you guys need to watch.
I gotta see it again, Mike, because I didn't see what you're suggesting, where he was just standing there. They grabbed the guy, threw him to the ground, and shot him. I didn't see all that.
Tim, I'm literally telling you. I've watched it so many times. When they pushed that woman down, he went to her aid, which he had every right to do. He had every right to go to that woman's aid. He didn't break the law. And they weren't after her.
When they pushed her down, were they trying to detain her or do anything? They were going to just push her down and move on.
Dude didn't even, once he pushed her down, he never went close to her After that, they just pushed her the fuck down, Tim. Now I'm gonna tell you this: if that's me, and they push my wife or another woman, and I don't care who it is, we got a problem.
How about this? How about this? Andrea Mitchell on Facebook says, "I'd rather die than allow babies, mothers, and innocent people to be abused and oppressed. Would you be willing to die for the civil rights and constitutional rights of a stranger?"
Give me liberty or get yes, 100%, Tim. I mean that shit. But here's the thing: I'm not just saying it; I mean that. And when I'm watching that incident, I'm like, what else was this man supposed to do? Because we want men to be men. We want, MAGA's always talking about beta or alpha, all this. Well, the man stood up for his constitutional right and hers. He's an ICU nurse. He's out there with it. He had his hands in the air, Tim. Yeah. He said it's even after they pepper sprayed him. He said it's okay.
Let me address a comment in regards to what we're talking about, because Nick Stone says he had a gun with extra magazines. As an EDC person, you need to think twice about going to such an event with my hand tool. Stupid is it? Well, first of all, the extra magazines was in his car, I believe. They weren't even on him, so that's irrelevant. I don't know why you even bringing that up. But what about the notion of Mike? What about the notion of what this viewer is pointing out about showing up to protest while carrying firearms? Obviously, Cal Rittenhouse, they have a difference of opinion of him doing the same thing, open carrying a carbine. But what about the notion of going to protest with firearms?
He has. This is my thing about his rights. He was in his rights. It's an open carry state, and he had a concealed carry permit. What else you want the man to do? He wasn't threatening anybody. He didn't raise his voice at anybody. He was helping somebody. They took his pistol off of him and pew-pewed him, Tim. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Either we have rights or we don't. Either we have rights or we don't. It's funny how they move the goalposts. Like, you brought up Kyle Rittenhouse. They all said, well, you said, well, he should, but he went there. He had a right to be there with his firearm. Now, he shouldn't have had his firearm.
Yeah. It's amazing that and I really hate that we're starting to use political hypocrisy in the way we view laws, because the same thing happened with Renee Nicole Good compared to the likes of Ashley Babbitt. Same thing. She didn't comply. She got shot. And the right favors one, and the left is on the other side. I really hate that. I mean, we're getting to the point now where we actually dole the law, judge the law based on what politics the assailant was involved in. That shouldn't be.
But you know what, Tim? Because they will always move the needle to fit their narrative, because they have no humanity. They don't have any fucking humanity, because there's not a person on here. If Alex was their father, brother, husband, son, they would not hold that position. They would not say he did it. He didn't do anything wrong. If you take the politics out of it, Tim, honestly, if 20 years from now you'll play that video to somebody, and if you don't put a political spin on it, they'll call it exactly what we're calling it. Yeah. And Jill, we're going to move on. Tim's going to move on from me when Tim gets ready, not you, or you can always request them to talk to me. But I'm sure you won't. Now, listen, at the end of the day, Tim, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to move on. This is why I was pushed back on you, and I will continue to push back on anybody that is asking you to comply, because you are assuming that you complying is going to somehow prevent you from being
killed,
unalive.
Yeah.
And right now, they're moving in the streets, Tim. These motherfuckers were clapping and making it seem like it was Call of Duty, Tim. You can't compromise with people like that.
Yeah, but I agree with you. But some of the stuff you're saying you've seen, I have not seen. I didn't see the call. A lot of folks in the comments said they seen what you see. I certainly didn't see it in a manner where the guy was just walking and they grabbed him and threw him down to the ground and shot him. It looked to me like there was some struggling going on but I do believe his shooting was completely unjustified. I do think it's closer to schmurder than anything else. But I have to see it from more angles.
I'm about to say this, and then you can let me go. If somebody walked up behind you right now and grabbed your arm, you would immediately tense up. Guess what they would call that?
Resisting.
They would call that resisting.
Yeah.
Like, who was accustomed to being thrown on their face without trying to brace their fall? I mean, it's not even fucking reality, Tim. These people talking about comply, they're being aggressive. Now, I will say this, because I pointed out some things to you with The officer that pew-pewed Renee. Right after he pew-pewed her, what did he say, Tim?
Fucking bitch.
Fucking bitch right out of his mouth. Does that sound like somebody? Does that sound like an officer that was really worried about her safety? Who was really trying to prevent other people from getting hurt? Or was that somebody angry? If that's your daughter, do you even care if he got nicked by the car? And then you just see the video, then you heard what he said about her. Then he walked down there and took a picture of her and walked away. Tell me where they're showing any humanity, Tim.
I don't think that's the intention, Mike. I think the cruelty part is to go, I gotta move it on, but I don't think that's the point. Thank you.
People need to know what their constitutional rights are. Don't just lay down for any fucking thing, you fucking goofies. That's why people are being unalive right now.
Mike, appreciate it. And by the way, I think people do know what their constitutional rights is. I think it's more or less what I was saying earlier, is that as long as you're doing it to them, I don't really care about it. That's where I think it is. I think it's more. And by the way, Jill Faith in the comments constantly saying next. My last caller was right. You can come up. And I'll say that to anyone watching the program. This is a free speech program. Does not matter what your political affiliation is, your opinion is, your criticism is. We will bring you up and let you state that without any limitation to your time, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to be next, goddammit. As opposed to telling me to move on from him. Let me go back to the box. We'll continue on with, and by the way, Nat Finn says curling in a fetal position, getting beat is illegal now. Should have always been. Well, no, like I said, like my last caller said, I don't see any justification as to what happened to this guy. I just don't. I mean, I see a bunch of folks that don't give a shit about the citizens of Minneapolis coming up with ways to justify a domestic terrorist. Who the hell was terrorized by Alex Pretty? Who? How can he be a domestic terrorist? I mean, that is insane that Christiano would even throw that out there. Alexander, I think it says, will try bringing up one of my viewers on Instagram. If the app brings him up rather. Sounds like a person hit by a car. So, like I said, there's this argument folks can try to make for Renee Nicole Good's death, but what happened to Alex Pretty? There is no argument to me. I don't see any argument at all for that. And I think even with Renee Nicole Good, it was an optional shooting. I think if you drive your car towards police when they're telling you to stop, even at 1 or 2 miles an hour, the law will allow them to take your life. You're driving a car towards an officer, 4,000 pound vehicle. You're driving it towards an officer. I fear for my life. Yeah, it was going 1 mile an hour, but I fear she might step on the gas and go even faster. I think a lot of citizens would let law enforcement go with something like that, even though it's clearly not a case of me versus them. It's you taking a person's life by option. I think the best thing that the guy that took Renee Nicole Good's life could have done is exactly what he did do. Get out of the way of the vehicle. If somebody is driving a vehicle towards you and you take the life of the driver, their limp body is not going to step on the brakes or turn away from you. That doesn't even stop you from getting hit. Popping somebody in the head that's coming at you is likely to make them come at you even faster. If you noticed, when he took Renee Nicole Good's life, she continued on in a straight line until she ran into something to stop the vehicle. So that don't even stop the threat. Shooting somebody does not even stop the threat. The way you're going to stop it is to jump out of the way, which is exactly what he did. So I don't believe the guy who took Renee Nicole Good's life did it because if he didn't do it, it was going to be his life. No, he did it because the law allows him to do it. Once you're driving towards an officer, it is an optional shooting that you have a legal right to do. So I believe the shooting of Renee Nicole Good would likely be ruled as justified, probably even at the state level, I don't believe it was necessary. I don't believe it was done to save anybody's life. It's a free play, just like in football, when you hike the ball and someone on the other team steps off sides. You can throw the ball downfield. If you score a touchdown, it counts. If you throw an interception or something else, it doesn't count because the flag has already been thrown. It's what's called as a free play. When somebody drives a vehicle at you, you have a free play. You can shoot them because they're driving towards you. Or you can jump out of the way and chase them down and just simply arrest them. He chose to shoot. But it was not any case of if he didn't take Renee Nicole Good's life, he would have lost his own life. That was not the case. Looking in the comments, we know our rights, and Mike, you need help. How so? Anyone that hates ICE can go live in another country. That's fine. Huh? Let me just say this real quick before we go back to the box and tap the screen. We should be at least at about 60,000. Share the live if you will. Tap the screen, get the lights on up to 60,000. If you're watching on YouTube, follow the program. We're here most weekdays. Here's what I don't understand about my constitutional, traditional, founding fathering, loving MAGA. This is for MAGA. Why the hell are you guys always telling people if you don't like something about America to leave your homeland? Trump said all kinds of awful shit about America during the Biden administration. The military was dilapidated. The cities were shitholes. All sorts of awful shit about America. Not one claim, well, if you don't like America, you should leave. I think that is about the most anti-American slogan that MAGA could ever adopt. If there is something about your country you don't like, you should flee your homeland. How about doing what is your civic duty? Voting for a better politician to change it. You don't just run and leave your fucking country. MAGA says that all the time. If you don't like it, I'll help you pack. If you don't like this, leave. If you don't like this, leave. But meanwhile, they have no problem complaining about all sorts of shit in America themselves. Sanctuary cities, immigrants, Biden, Nancy Pelosi, complaining about all kinds of shit in America. Kind of leads you to believe that perhaps MAGA believes that only they have the right to complain. No one else does. Tell me you don't hear a slight bit of supremacy in a statement like that. We have the right to complain, but if you do, you should leave. Perhaps because we're better than you. Anyway, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 60,000. Take the next caller at that. We're complaining. It says, who says this in the comments there? It's a long name. Don't just be another brick in the wall. I like it. Says, we got the better politicians right now. Okay, if you think your politicians are better, that's fine. But if your politicians are suggesting that anybody that complains about America should leave, your politicians are also sounding very unconstitutional. F Trump, F MAGA, I know I'm better. Says Buffy Buttons. How freedom is being taken away. I think what ICE is doing in Minneapolis is certainly taking away his people's freedoms. If they can walk up to an American and demand you show paperwork to prove you're an American and refuse to let you leave without showing them that, you've lost the freedom. You've lost the freedom against unwarranted searches and seizures. You've lost your Fourth Amendment rights, not to mention your Fifth Amendment right of the right to remain silent. If you don't show us paperwork, we're going to hold you hostage until we find out who you are. We don't have any reason to pull you over other than maybe you're brown or black, or we heard you speaking Spanish, or you're standing in front of a Home Depot. That's Fourth and Fifth right there. Not to mention what's happening to the protesters. There's various violations of the First Amendment involved in that. So you're losing rights in Minneapolis. I'll just tell you that. You are absolutely losing rights in Minneapolis. King, you ready to fight for your freedom, or are you going to complain like a punk? How about a combination of both? Maggots love to be treaded on. No, they don't. This is not MAGA being treaded on. Says Danny, appreciate the hat and mustache. You guys, thank you. Few of you folks have helped out with the hat and mustache and the TikTok cap go. Thank you for the few that have been showing the program some love. But I do want to say, MAGA doesn't want their rights to be trampled on. MAGA wants the rights of their enemies to be trampled on. And they don't care about their enemies losing rights. They just don't want it to be done to them. That's where we're at with this. Looking in the comments here. Are we at tap the screen? Get the lights on up. We'll take the next caller. Get us around 60,000. Thank you for the TikTok cap, Miss Mo Better. We'll move the program on shortly. You can protest, but not against ICE. You have the right to carry, but not around ICE. You have the right to drive, but be careful around ICE. You're free, but not around ICE. Says Mimi, I think it says mimic, something like that. I agree with that. I think that is worded perfectly. You have the right to protest, but not against ICE. You have the right to carry, but not around ICE. You have the right to drive, but be careful around ICE. You're free, but not in the company of ICE. I agree with that 100%. ICE is not acknowledging your freedoms. They're not. If they don't like you, they will violate your rights, likely at the behest of our president. Second Amendment will be gone before Trump leaves office, says, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name, but you believe the Second Amendment nationwide? I don't know about nationwide. Maybe for the non-MAGA sect of the population, but I don't know about nationwide. I don't think it'll be gone nationwide. Thank God you are not crazy, says Presto. What made you think? I guess some of my opinions probably. Anyway, we want to continue on. Tap the screen, get us up to 60,000. We are all human at the end. Okay, just because you're human don't mean you're going to be treated like human, though. Pam said, stop blaming Trump for what these sanctuary states and cities are allowing. If Trump is allowing ICE to stop Americans and demand paperwork, that ain't something I'm going to blame on a sanctuary city. Look, we got an economy that is not strong right now. We got Americans that are losing health care. Our allies or our international relations are strained right now. What is going on in the city of Minneapolis before President Trump sent ICE there? I'm talking about the sanctuary city of Minneapolis. I'm talking about the Somali fraud in Minneapolis. Before Trump sent ICE in there, that fraud and the sanctuary activities of Minneapolis, 99.999% of Americans were not affected by that at all. Had no effect on most Americans at all. Even most Americans in Minneapolis were not affected by that stuff, mildly at best. Let's take the Somali fraud, how many millions or whatever they were defrauding the state of Minnesota. Even at that level, the average Minnesota resident probably didn't notice that one bit. That was not affecting. What they're doing now is affecting virtually everybody in Minneapolis. Businesses are being forced to close. Traffic is coming to a standstill. Schools are not open. It's affecting everybody. Point I'm making is the effort to squelch illegal immigrants being in Minneapolis and the Somalis committing fraud. That was what we were trying to gain, is to stop that stuff. The losses is all the stuff I just mentioned, all of the loss of revenue, the loss of operations for the losses. What you were going to gain are not worth the losses. The losses are way, way greater. The city of Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, can you imagine how many millions of dollars they losing right now to stop that little bit of Somali fraud, that sanctuary? Can you imagine how much money? And by the way, for folks who want to complain about the Somali fraud hurting the federal tax coffers, you realize what ICE is doing? USA Today estimates it's costing $18 million per week. For ICE to be present in Minneapolis doing what they're doing, it's costing us taxpayers $18 million per week. They're going to quickly go way beyond any Somali fraud we're talking about. $18 million per week. I don't think the cost of what they're trying to accomplish is worth it, is the point I'm making. Even if you believe what they're trying to accomplish is legitimate, to stop Somali fraud, to stop Minnesota from being a sanctuary city, at a cost of $18 million per week indefinitely, I don't think it's worth it. I think what makes it worth it is watching your enemies get mistreated and hurt and squirm and shed tears. I think the liberal tears aspect of it is where MAGA favors it, because it ain't really affecting most MAGA at all. Let me go back to the box. We'll continue on with Miss Mo. Oh, I got MAGA Reacts, rather. This guy speaks so much crap, he believes himself, and his eyes pulled in. Yet another statement, which we encourage free speech, that doesn't add shit to the program. You think I'm speaking crap? State the crap. Correct the crap. State your point. Quote unquote, have a fucking ball. What you're saying made no sense. That has nothing to the program. MAGA Reacts, good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much at all, man. Did you see the videos of what happened to Alex Pretty?
Yeah, did you see that drive-by video where some guy's recording him and then drives by and you see him already like kind of having a little shoving match with ICE? You know that happened like way before the actual incident.
So if it happened way before, how do we know the officers that were involved in taking his life even knew about it or were involved in it?
Because it's the same people. It's the same group.
Did he pull out his firearm?
Back the first time.
Did he pull out his firearm doing it? Wait,
back to getting donuts or whatever.
during the shoving match, did he pull out his firearm?
No, but he's also supposed to announce to ICE that he has a firearm. Whenever you're a concealed weapons person and you run into law enforcement of any kind, you're supposed to announce to them you have a firearm. So
okay, if he didn't pull out his firearm, why did he get shot?
But he never announced to them that.
Okay, not announcing you have a firearm is not a lethal threat to cops, though. They can't just shoot you because you didn't tell them you had a gun. Why did he get shot? Is what I'm asking you.
I mean, you're kind of skipping a couple of steps here, Tim. You can't just jump.
I'm asking you a simple. I'm asking you a simple question. Why did he get shot? What is your opinion on that?
Well, somebody yelled that he had a firearm and removed his firearm, but the guy that shot him probably didn't know he was disarmed. That's my best guess. And don't tell me I'm lying or this or that later on when we find out new information. But right now, my best guess is the guy that shot did not know he was disarmed.
So in other words, he shot an unarmed man. Based on your statement, he shot an unarmed man.
I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty obvious unless we find out he has a second gun. Also, why the fuck does he have two magazines?
They're in his car. They're in his car. Why is that even coming up? You want to know what was in his crib too? That's in his car.
I don't know that the magazines were in his car.
Yeah,
Where did you get that from?
There's an actual picture of the magazines on his car seat. That stuff was in his car.
His car seat. That's the fucking cop's car seat after they took the fucking gun. You think that was his car seat? You think that was his car?
Hold on. MAGA.
Guys, go back to his car and take a picture.
MAGA. Do you realize how many Americans, particularly Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, and even some of us, hold on, hang on, let me finish the statement. How many just 2A loving Americans go out in public every day carrying their sidearm with additional magazines? Why is that coming up?
Most of them don't care. I don't think most 2A people carry additional.
A lot of 2A people carry.
A gun has 18 bullets.
A lot of Americans carry an additional magazine or two. A lot of Americans do.
The cops that they have all these things, and either they're very obvious because you can see them because they usually those people are open carry people, and they have them on display and they announce to police.
No.
I mean, we've seen 1,000 incidents of these people running into the police with nobody getting hurt.
I'm gonna tell you.
See that the normal procedure.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you personally. I'm gonna tell you personally. When my first one was a Glock 44. It only had it has a single stack, and I think it had 8 rounds in it. And then of course one.
I looked up his gun. It had 18 or 17.
Yeah, but the point is. People, because I carried an extra mag for a while. That's 100. Why is that coming up? That's 100% legal.
Well, if it's there for self-defense, he doesn't need so much ammo. If it's there for something else, why does he have so much ammo? I mean, it could be innocent, but I'm just saying, I find that odd.
Why did Cal Rittenhouse have so much ammo?
He didn't. I don't think he reloaded. He had the one magazine. That's all he needed because you don't need more than 18 bullets to defend yourself. Kyle Rittenhouse probably had 30 or something.
Right. Why do you need 30 rounds?
Because that's what the gun carries. I don't think you can get a smaller than 30. I mean, you can, but the standard one that comes with it is 30. And also, a rifle is not concealed because you can't conceal it. It's open. You see it. It's an open carry. so he doesn't need a concealed.
Let me just make sure I'm getting clear. Let me see if I can get clarity from you. Was the taking of Alex Pretty's life justified or murder in your opinion?
I don't know yet. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions yet.
You just said based on what you've seen, they shot an unarmed man in the back. What else are you expecting to see?
Again, did he know he was unarmed? If he knew he was unarmed,
don't matter. It doesn't. If you think somebody's armed and they're not, and you take their life, you're still responsible for it. You don't get a pass because you thought something.
That's manslaughter at the worst, and not murder. And again, it depends on who started the incident. And as far as I'm concerned, Alex came to them. They didn't go looking for Alex, and this happened. Alex came to them. He came to them once. They pushed him away. Then he comes back twice. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a second or third incident that was not captured in either video.
Yeah, I haven't seen what you're suggesting that there was a prior incident. First of all, second thing I'm saying.
Did you not see the video where?
No, I made it clear. I have not seen the video. I have not seen the video.
Let me see if I can. I'll show it to you.
You will have to show the video, and you will have to prove that the same guys that were involved in shooting them were part of that video.
It's the same place with the same ice and the same cars. It's the same everything. I mean, it's the same shit. Like, I don't know why you think
well, the point being made though is once you said that they disarmed the guy, he had no firearm on him and he's getting shot afterwards. I don't think any rest of that stuff matters.
You're jumping the gun here.
I'm taking what you said. I'm taking what you said. According to you, they had him and they disarmed him, and then one of the guys, according to you, must have didn't hear them say he had no gun on him and shot him.
That all happened during a fight. That all happened while 5 people were in a crowd, like a rugby thing. That didn't happen. You make it sound like, oh, they pulled him on the side and they had him sitting there by himself and disarmed him. And the second guy came while he was sitting on the floor and shot him because he thought he had a gun. This was a fucking pileup of people.
MAGA, you know? I'm under the impression, you can correct me here though, but I'm under the impression if you're law enforcement, you are responsible yourself for seeing the threat to make you shoot. You don't go by what's being yelled. You have to see what is threatening you before you can shoot. Obviously, the officer that fired did not see visually any threat.
I don't know that. How do you know that?
Because the man was unarmed. What are you talking about?
How does he know that? He could have gone toward where his gun was, and he thought he was going for his gun. I mean, we don't know what the man that shot saw. We know what we saw from a third-person perspective on the side of the incident. We don't know what the guy in the fucking pileup. I mean, this is the middle of a pileup. We're on the outside looking in. So you just gonna fire into a bunch of people because what you first of all, whatever you think is a lethal threat, you're obviously wrong because nobody else is firing but you in the beginning. So I don't understand what you're defending here. I'm not trying to defend anything. I'm just trying to explain to you what I saw and the fact that we don't know what this man saw because we don't have a camera that's like his eyes. We don't have his body cam. We don't have a cam that, even if we had a body cam, we don't know what he actually saw and what he perceived.
I gotta tell you, MAGA, based on what you're saying, the bar for holding ice is so high. Virtually any ice person can shoot. I mean, that video makes it clear. That video makes it clear that there's enough manpower to handle this dude. He didn't reach for any gun, and he got shot while on the ground in the back. And somehow, I don't know what his eyes were seeing. What the fuck?
Again, it's a difference between enough. I know they outnumbered him, but that's not enough to handle him. Because I told you, like, it's like with that girl pulling her out the car. You're like, why did he use 3 people to pull her out the car? Because it's really hard to pull someone out the car. I
don't see the individual. Let's stick with Alex Pretty. Let's stick with Alex Pretty. I don't see enough I don't see enough resistance from Alex Pretty to suggest that they couldn't handle this dude. This happened super quick. I don't see him reaching for a weapon. I don't see anything.
If he wanted, say he had his gun still, and he went to his holster,
but
there's very little they could do to stop that hand from going to his holster.
Yeah, but
it's a very large and powerful man, and they don't have the right control over him to stop it.
Yeah, but based on what you're saying, then you can shoot anybody who's resisting arrest because let's say he got a gun on him and he may go for it and may not be the. You can use that excuse to shoot virtually anybody resisting arrest. If you just add all of those ifs.
They knew. We know that the cop there that shot him knew he had a gun because when they realized he had a gun, they all yelled gun. So we know he at least knew that he had a gun. We don't know that he knew he was disarmed.
You know something? I'll tell you this also, Maga. Let's say, for instance, you got a gun hosted on your side, and the cop starts saying, you know, do you have a permit or whatever? You take off running, they catch up and wrestle with you, and you're wrestling with the cops while you got a gun in your holster. Even though they can yell gun, that still doesn't mean you're using the gun in a threatening way. You can't shoot somebody that's resisting arrest solely because they're armed.
I mean, if they're fighting with you and you think they're going for their gun, you can. And I don't know what that guy was seeing. The other thing is, like, the first 3 or 4 times I fucking watched this video, I didn't see the man get disarmed. So if I didn't see the man get disarmed the first 3 times I fucking saw it, how did this man that was there in the middle, not on the outside with my camera, view?
Yeah, that's not the point being. The point being, hold on, hear me out. I hear what you're saying. No, that's not the point. The point that you don't know if he's disarmed or not. The point is, before you fire, you have to see the threat. Somebody could mistakenly fill a cell phone and yell gun or something. You need to see the threat before you start discharging rounds. That guy didn't see this man with a gun in his hand. We know it because the guy didn't have one.
We don't know what he saw and he didn't see.
He didn't see the man with a gun in his hand, Maga, because the guy didn't have a gun on him.
I don't know what he saw. Maybe he saw him go for his holster. You know, a holster is the same shape as a gun, right?
But that's the point I'm making is that based on what you're saying, you could take the life of anybody resisting arrest. Well, I don't know what he saw. I don't know what he was thinking.
Take the life of anyone reaching for a gun, but he didn't know his gun wasn't there.
If you take the life of somebody that is unarmed, nobody cares what you saw, what you thought. You took what you saw and what you thought were wrong. What you saw and what you thought was wrong, and your wrongness led to the death of somebody. That's what happened.
We'll find out eventually, hopefully.
I think
we've already. Don't know if he knew he was disarmed beyond a reasonable doubt.
I think we've already found out. You just won't accept what we saw. I think we've already found out. You just won't accept what we've seen.
I mean, we know that we're using hindsight. We know that using outside camera and hindsight. We're talking the person there at the moment, the person that shot at the moment. Now, not here in the future with like multiple cameras and shit. The person there in the moment, did he know this man was disarmed?
We saw enough to know he didn't see that guy holding a firearm. We know that. At best, we can go with your argument that maybe he was reaching for some phantom gun or something like that. But you didn't see anything. At best, you thought something, and your thoughts led you to kill somebody, and your thoughts were wrong.
Yeah, but as long as the thoughts were legit and you thought he was reaching for a gun, that's what we judge him on.
No.
Judge him on hindsight. The law says do not judge on hindsight. We have hindsight because we are watching it in the future. We had 10 times to watch the video. I didn't fucking see the gun the first 4 times. So how the fuck did this man know he was disarmed if I didn't see the gun?
I'm just saying, if all the officer has to say is, I thought he was reaching for something, so I killed him. And we found out the guy, I mean, based on what you're saying, it does give the officer a wide latitude to go around and kill anybody. Just say, I thought he was reaching for something.
And the way reasonable doubt works is we have to prove otherwise. We have to prove that he knew he was disarmed. That we have. I don't think you gotta prove that. What you're saying is the officer can say whatever he wants, and we gotta prove what the officer. No, the officer gotta prove what he saw is valid. And this guy was unarmed. No, it ain't. It's not our job to disprove the phantom stuff the officer made up. It's the officer's job to prove what he said is true. And what he said is clearly not. This is America. He's innocent until proven guilty. We have to prove that he did not know that this man was armed. If they were all yelling, disarmed, disarmed, after they took his gun away, then you would be correct. But as far as I know, they only yelled that he had a gun. They never yelled that he was disarmed.
No.
And plus, they don't know if he had a second gun.
But that still goes back to MAGA.
Two rounds of ammo, well, 3 counting the one in the gun. How did they know he was disarmed? That he didn't have a second gun?
But that still goes back to my original argument. Having a gun while struggling with police still is not an automatic death sentence. You still got to prove.
Reaching for a gun while struggling for police is.
Yeah, you got to.
If you're reaching for a gun while struggling with police, they're gonna shoot you, assuming you're reaching for that gun to kill them.
So
that is 100% what happens in every fucking police video. We've seen 1,000 of them.
Did you see, based on what you've seen in the video, since you've seen enough, does any part of that video look like the man is trying to reach for something on him, a gun or something?
I haven't seen enough to tell you yes or no, but so far it's a no. Tell you. I'll be honest and tell you that. So far, I have not seen an angle where it looks like he was reaching for his gun, but I haven't really seen a clear angle of like the specific. I haven't really seen a clear angle of the guy that shot and what he was seeing. Like this is again like camera perspectives are tricky.
How did they end up? How did they end up? Now let's go back before they took his life. You're based on what you claim you've seen. How did they end up getting in contact with each other to begin with?
Well, they were doing their job, and he kept crossing the street to mess with them. They kept pushing him back to the sidewalk, which it looks like what they did earlier, push him back to the sidewalk. And the rule is you have to protest from the sidewalk. You need a permit to protest from the street. So, they pushed him back to the sidewalk, created a perimeter like they're supposed to do, and he kept violating the perimeter. And you're asking me, how did he impede ICE? He kept violating the perimeter of their fucking crime scene or whatever the fuck they were doing. And they kept pushing him back, and they pushed him back twice. And the third time, he was trying to help that woman, but that's not.
Did they push the woman? Because Mike is saying they pushed the woman down too. How did what is the woman's position in this?
Same position. She was also violating the perimeter. They're supposed to protest from the sidewalk. They get to be on the sidewalk and protest and film all they want.
So anybody that's stepping in.
I don't know why the fuck they were directing traffic. Like they have a right to direct traffic. They have no right to direct traffic. They have no right to violate the perimeter of ICE. And by violating the perimeter, they're impeding ICE.
So anybody that's in the street protesting, their response is to push them to the ground?
If they're in the middle of the street, yes. If they're on the sidewalk, no.
So you push them to the ground. Now they definitely in the street now because you don't put them on the ground.
Well, they're already on the street. They're in the middle of the street. This started in the middle of the street. It ended at the sidewalk, but it started in the middle of the street.
Yeah. I'd have to see the video you're talking about, particularly the one where they were...
There's one where some guy drives by and people think it's the same incident, but no, because the woman is not in that video. It's just him and the fat guy. And the woman is nowhere in that video. So they push him back, and the guy drives away. So that's all we see, them pushing him back. But the woman's not there. That means the incident with the woman happened way later. And the start of the second video, ICE is not even on the sidewalk anymore. They're back in their little area, and these people are again crossing the street to mess with ICE. After ICE already pushed them back to the sidewalk, they were crossing the street again.
What was ICE doing in that area?
Supposedly they were trying to arrest some criminal or some shit. I don't know. Maybe they were getting donuts from the donut shop. I don't fucking know.
Well, but, if you're getting donuts from the donut shop, you can't. I don't see. To me, I've never heard that you got to be on the sidewalk to protest. That's a new one too.
Well, that's the law. The law in Minnesota is there's a duty to retreat, so you can't stand your ground like you can do in most states. You have a duty to retreat when you're a firearm owner and you want to use your firearm to defend yourself. That's why Kyle Rittenhouse was actually running. Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't like charging or standing his ground against cops or anybody. He was running, and they kept coming after him. This guy was not running, and ICE was chasing him. Was he running away from ICE?
Well, I'm talking about I want to place. I want to play something for you. But before I do, Josh Vet in the comments says 6 people can't hold down one dude weighing 150 pounds. He was tiny. I don't see why they.
That dude is more than 150 pounds, and that guy was all muscle. Like
I don't
see a video where they could hold down.
He was more than 150 pounds, and he was all muscle. That's what you're telling me?
I mean, that's what I've seen from these videos. He looks muscular, and I mean,
I haven't seen that, but I want you to hear.
I mean, all these the picture you just had of him riding a fucking mountain bike up a mountain. You know what kind of shape you need to be to do that?
Shit, my fat ass ride bikes. I ride mountain bikes.
Not up a mountain. Not up a mountain.
I can put a mountain bike in the easiest.
love-
Hold on, I can put a mountain bike in the easiest gear. I may be riding up the mountain at 1 or 2 miles an hour, but I could cover a lot of that fucking mountain.
Actually, even you would be hard to subdue. I mean, you'd be hard to pull out a car. You'd be hard to fucking subdue.
Fair enough, but I'm not almost. I want you to hear this though.
Individuals showed up to impede a law enforcement operation and assaulted our officers. They responded according to their training and took action to defend the officer's life and those of the public around him. And I don't know of any peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign. This is a violent riot when you have someone showing up with weapons and are using them to assault law enforcement officers.
Because video.
Individual.
She's talking about, you can't be a peaceful protester showing up with a gun. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse did that. He didn't have a sign. I mean, so what's the difference?
I mean, the difference is he wasn't confronting cops. He wasn't confronting everyone. Anyone. He was retreating and being attacked.
No, she says you should have a sign and not have a gun, though.
Okay, that's her opinion, but you should.
Is she wrong? Is she wrong about this? You should have a sign and not a gun at a protest. Is she wrong?
No, you should have a sign and not a gun, but you also can have a gun if the state allows for it.
Every state in the union allows you to bring a gun to a protest. What are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
I repeat, every state in the union allows you to bring I mean, there may be a permit or two you got to get, but every state in the union allows you to bring a gun to a protest.
Again, let's look at the one example we have, January 6th.
I'm trying to ask. Wait. I'm trying to figure out first before we move on. Is she wrong in suggesting that you should bring a sign to a protest and not a gun? Is that right or wrong?
Bring a sign. You should bring a sign. You don't think you should bring a sign?
So then Cal Rittenhouse was wrong then because he didn't bring a sign.
He should have brought a sign too.
Okay.
But again, he's not. You should bring a sign and not a gun. But you're also allowed to bring a gun. Just don't fucking bring a gun and not announce it to law enforcement. If you encounter any law enforcement with a gun, you need to announce that you have a gun, especially as a concealed weapon holder. You should know that.
So you're telling me if I go to a protest, thousands of people out there, and I should walk around the law enforcement. I got a gun. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, do it in a non-threatening way, but yes, do it.
Yeah, to every member, you trying to get me shot. That's stupid.
Well, you're gonna get shot if they find out later that you have a gun, don't you think? Would you do this? This is my question. Would you have done any of this, Tim? Or would you have protested and recorded from the sidewalk like a normal person?
What's happening is a good question. What's happening in Minneapolis right now is so awful. I can't really explain what I would do if I was under these awful circumstances that they're dealing with. They're losing their rights. They're being mistreated. We're way beyond Somali fraud or sanctuary cities. That is a city under siege, which is what's scrolling behind me. I don't know what I would do under that situation.
That is a city in anarchy, is what it is.
No,
it's not a city.
That city was doing fine before Trump sent the ICE agents there. That city was not in anarchy until Trump sent thousands of people there. That city was doing fucking fine. That city is way worse now since Trump sent them people there. That's it.
It was anarchy. Just because there was less incidents.
What is your definition of anarchy?
I mean, they barely have any cops, and illegal immigrants are allowed to do whatever they want there. I mean...
So you're telling me before Trump sent thousands of ICE agents, illegal immigrants were just roaming around doing whatever they want, raping and murdering everything, anything they wanted to do?
Well, I don't know as far as raping and murdering.
What are you talking about? What were the immigrants in Minneapolis? It's a sanctuary city, so there's hundreds of them there. What were they doing? You said they were doing anything they wanted to do. Give me some examples.
What they were doing because no one was watching. No one cared.
Then how the hell you know what happened?
They could sell drugs. They could break the law in whatever way they like.
Give me some examples of what they were doing.
How could I give you an example if no one was being a cop and no one was recording it?
How do you know any of this? If you don't know the examples of what they were doing, how do you know what's happening?
It's a guess. I'm sorry for guessing.
So you're just making up shit.
Bro, you guess all the time. You're like, oh, this would have happened if this, or this is going to lead to this.
You're not guessing. You are not guessing. You said they were roaming around and doing whatever they want. You didn't guess. You actually said it as a matter of fact.
If no one is trying to deport them, and they keep releasing them, I mean, yeah, they're doing whatever they want.
So you believe Minneapolis is now better off right now than it was before they sent ICE in there?
Not right now, but hopefully in the future when they reestablish law and order.
And they didn't have law and order
Why
before.
is it always Minnesota? Why is it always Minnesota? I mean, we had 4 years of Biden. You never seen Miami or anything do anything to piss off Biden. We let you guys we never protested when ICE and CBP were giving out asylums to anyone that walks up to our border. Did you see us go to push and shove ICE while they were passing out asylums?
I saw you guys literally surround the governor's Capitol building in Michigan over the mask mandates. Yes, I saw you guys, and they had guns, by the way. They didn't have signs when they went to Michigan.
Yeah, but we didn't get in a fight with anybody.
Well, so now the standard is a fight.
Wasn't that under Trump or was that under Biden?
That was under Biden. I'm under the impression that you're supposed to show up to a protest with signs, not guns. When they surrounded the Michigan House, they didn't have signs. They had guns.
Yes, the word is should. Not you have to. Not the law says. She says you should, and you should show up to a protest with a sign. You shouldn't show up with a gun. You're allowed to show up with a gun, but then you're responsible for what happens because you showed up with a gun.
I think you're making this up as you go along. I gotta move on, MAGA.
It's just common sense, Tim. And if you don't have common sense, I can't help you.
I don't think you're in a position to help me because I don't think what you're saying is common or sensible. I gotta go.
You're not doing this stupid shit.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I gotta move it on. By the way, folks, tap the screen. We should get close to 100,000. I don't agree. Me and MAGA Rax don't agree with anything on this case. Sometimes we agree a few times. I don't think he said anything I agree this time, but he's always welcome back. Josh says closeted MAGA, like this caller, hates themselves. I don't know if my last caller hates himself. And he definitely is not closeted MAGA. His name is MAGA React, so he's not closeted. Tim, your pushbacks are ass today, says Mr. Splackaville. How so? How so? Detail that. Explain what do you mean. I'm pushing my ass off back. What about the Second Amendment or the 2 armed white protesters that be walking down the street with their AR-15s? Lessons for thee, not for me. I think that's the MAGA view. Because you're right. I mean, I'll tell you this. When Obama was running for office, MAGA didn't exist. They were called the Tea Party back then. Similar mindset, but it was called the Tea Party. There was a Obama campaign rally where a Tea Party member showed up with a carbine strapped on his back. That actually happened. Showed up to a presidential campaign with a carbine on him. Didn't have any signs. So I don't understand why all of a sudden this guy shows up to a ICE protest with a gun and suddenly bringing guns to protesters. There's a long history of people in this country bringing guns to protest. That ain't nothing new about that. And like I said, carbine strapped on his back. So this whole notion of, well, if you bring a gun to a protest, what you're doing is wrong, it should be a sign. I mentioned the Michigan governor's mansion over what is her name? Governor Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan with the mask mandates. They showed up with guns and all of that shit at the governor's house. They didn't have signs. So I don't know what Kristi Noem is talking about, other than what I just said. The rules are for thee, not for me. It's okay when we do this stuff, but it's not when you guys are doing it. That's the only thing I can think of. You redeemed yourself at the end there, Mr. Blackaville. I'm trying, and thank you for your support. Haven't seen the video, but I'm rep. I got to read this clearer, Ed G. You said you haven't seen the video, but I'm rep. But if Rittenhouse was able to show up, how did he? Okay, your writing on this is pretty bad. If Rittenhouse was able to show up, how he did, then that unalive guy was unjustified. Yeah, I don't, like I said, my last guess was twisting and turning his ass off. Well, he might have thought the guy who was unarmed was still reaching for a holster or something because somebody yelled gun, or he was reaching. For you guys who are Gen X, like myself, or even some of you folks that may be baby boomers, you probably remember the old plastic toy called a sit and spin. I'm using my hands this way because it was a toy you would sit down on as a kid and you would just spin around. It's called a sit and spin. Every time I talk to MAGA Reacts, I think about that toy. If you are a Gen X or a baby boomer, you probably remember it. Millennials, I see in the comments, Tay, you probably slightly too young to remember the sit and spin. I think it was a late 70s, early 80s toy. You remember the big track, speak and spell, all of that. It was in that era. So you're, as a millennial, you're probably a little too young for that. But yeah, every time I talk to MAGA Reacts, I think about the sit and spin. Because he just was spinning. Well, the guy yelled gun, and yeah, he's disarmed, but maybe he still thought he was reaching for something that didn't exist. I mean, I got to see what we saw through his eyes, and he just spinning his ass off. He had a big wheel, the green machine there, Eric B. for president. I had a green machine. Of course, big wheels. I think you can still get big wheels. But the green machine was like a big wheel with two big knobs. And it would actually apply brakes to the rear wheels, and that's how you would steer. I had a green machine. Anyway, looking in the comments, you cannot carry concealed without an ID. Is that true? I don't know. I mean, I don't ever go around without an ID. I believe you should have to have an ID to vote. I don't think there's any reason for a full-grown adult to be walking around without an ID. It just causes unnecessary drama. Now, I will say this, though. With ICE stopping people and demanding ID, there are times when people don't have an ID. Like, for instance, I had to go out and jump off a car today because of the brutal weather in my neck of the woods, below zero temperatures. I had a car that wouldn't start. So I went out and jumped it off. I just threw on some pants, grabbed the car. I didn't have my wallet in my pocket. If ICE came and pulled up on me, I wouldn't been able to prove I was any damn thing. I would not even been able to prove I had the right to drive the car. So there are plenty of folks out here that don't have ID. And once you don't have ID, ICE can detain you. They don't have to let you go back in your house or anything to get your ID. They can grab you up. That shouldn't be allowed. That's when folks try to deny we're losing rights. The fact that they can do that says otherwise. Are you still on Rumble, or did you quit Rumble, says Handsome Conservative? I'm still on Rumble. I occasionally post videos. I don't know how their algorithm is set up. The viewership is a mere fraction of what I obtain on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms. So I don't use it. I know there's a lot of MAGA on Rumble, and I would love to speak to as many MAGA as possible, which is why I reached out. I'm also on Truth Social and X also, all the Handsome Liberal on all those accounts. I occasionally do lives on X, but I can't see the comments or respond to people, so I didn't see the validity in it. But I am on X, I am on Rumble, I am on Truth Social, and I do like to speak to MAGA because this is an uncensored free speech program. But yeah, we're on Rumble still. Don't play communist games, don't die. Okay. I think what ICE is doing is part of a communist game, Aaron. I don't see what ICE is doing is part of a free society. There's a lot of free countries on earth that have immigrant issues, illegal immigrant issues, and none of them have a group of military personnel flooding a city like what ICE is doing. ICE is acting in manners that is communist. ICE is the way ICE is acting. That shit's straight out of North Korea. Straight out of North Korea, where they can do something and the president. Now I'll go back to the box momentarily, but I'm going back and forth with MAGA Reacts, for instance, on the program. But even he admitted, I haven't seen everything and I still need to see a few clips of the video. Kristi Noem, President Trump, they didn't need to see shit. They immediately took to the airways, called the victim in both cases, Renee Nicole Good and Alex Pretty, called them both domestic terrorists and started justifying the shooting within minutes of it happening. Within a few hours of it happening, they were justifying both of those things. They didn't need any investigation or anything, which makes it clear that they're going to defend ICE no matter what. Not once did they say, well, I don't know yet. We need to investigate. Let's wait till the facts are. None of that. They immediately started defending both of the ICE personnel that shot those folks. So it's clear beyond a reasonable doubt that the Trump administration is going to defend ICE as a default. They don't need to actually see what happened. Their default is to say that the person that was wronged or harmed or killed or whatever was wrong and ICE was right. But then, I'm talking, Christy Nome was on TV, I don't even think it was an hour or two later, calling Alex Pretty a domestic terrorist and suggesting that he was the bad guy. So, you got people like MAGA who's somewhat defending the cop, 24 hours later still kind of admitting I need to see the rest of the video. They don't need to see shit in the Trump administration. They're going to defend by default. Miss Mobetta, good evening.
Hi, Tim. Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Sunday.
It's Sunday, and I don't know how fucking happy it is right now. I'm getting hammered.
Oh God, I don't know how you do it, because that shit that you was just experiencing with Mag Reacts, that was worse than the grandma any day.
Well,
like, come on, bro. He gonna go now and go to GTA and make up some shit. Oh, well, see, this is how the angle went. Listen, we saw the fuck videos. We saw what it is. Come on now, knock it off.
Well, but he did.
It makes your numbers drop.
But he did introduce something that is I'm concerned with. I'm interested in seeing it. His suggestion was the deceased, Alex Pretty, had been arguing with ICE and pushing in a shoving match before he got shot. I haven't seen or heard about that since.
How is it he's the only one with that notion? Nobody else.
It's a good point.
Nowhere else are they saying, and I done seen many stories, many videos. I sent you one where there was a lady on the sidewalk and it shows the entire altercation. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's schmurder is what it is. It's no justification for what happened to that man. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to say my humble opinion. From what I've seen, I don't see any justification what happened. Like I said, I got hammered for saying that Renee Nicole Good's shooting. I think there's a case to be made that she was going at him. I don't think he needed to take her life to save his own at all. I think that the law gives him the option because the vehicle's coming at him to do it if he wants to. But I don't look at the shooting of Renee Nicole Good and say, damn, if he didn't take her life, he was going to get ran over. No, I don't believe that. I think it was an option.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think it was an option.
You know why they have that thug mentality going on, this thug behavior going on? Because you have a thug that's running them. You understand what I'm saying? Because he gave them free range for this shit. And you know what happens? The first thing they do, they unalive them and then they haul ass from the scene. Then they blocking warrants and stuff for coming in here and investigating these scenes and shit. You understand? So are you for law and order or are you not?
I think it's for thee, for thee, not me kind of argument. And real quick in the comments, I think it says brain damage. Oh my God. It says state ID card or passport on your person. If stopped by law enforcement, you must present both the permit and photo ID. Well, first of all, and that's totally wrong, by the way. First of all, they have to have probable cause to stop you. So you can't just go around stopping people because they happen to be black, brown, or standing somewhere and start demanding they show you all kinds of shit. There are tons of videos all over social media of the cops stopping people at DUI checkpoints and stuff, them refusing to show ID and being allowed to drive off because it's not legal. Go ahead, Ms. Mobetta.
It's not legal. And you got this mofo on what's his name, Big Boss or whatever it is. Where the fuck did they find this motherfucker at? He talking about we got people unrest, undisciplined citizens. You're not even a citizen. You need to mind your business.
Damn. Well, Big Boss is MAGA, obviously. I don't think that's even needs to be discussed, but he's MAGA, and the belief is if you don't do whatever ICE is telling you to do, then you're being unpatriotic and you kind of deserve whatever's coming to you. They are defending ICE no matter what.
They think by kissing the ring that they're exempt. Go ask the few people, no, not a few, a lot of the people that were actual legal citizens that got out of here because of the way they look. See, and people talk like that because they're white passing. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I've adopted the white side, not the right side, but the white side. So I'm exempt from what ICE is doing.
Yeah. Well, and I do believe that's where a lot of this is coming from, is that MAGA don't believe this stuff would ever happen to them. But speaking, you mentioned Big Boss. He has in the comments, he says ebonics much. So he's accusing you of using ebonics.
Shut the fuck up. Listen, I move accordingly. I move accordingly. When I'm talking to people like you, the low lives like you, I speak ebonics.
Yeah. And I see
when we speak truth with some kind of sense, y'all don't understand it. Y'all call it fake. So shut the fuck up.
We'll leave it at that. And in the comments, digital, I think it says Digital Fire TV says the issue is that the man had a concealed carry on his back while his hands were forward while he was getting his ass beat. And then the firearm was removed from him before he got shot. That's what I've seen happen as well. Is that
and if you watch that video that I sent you, and you'll see exactly what they just said.
Yeah. He clearly was disarmed.
He went to go help this lady up. I mean, when I tell you they tackled them, they tackled those people. And then one of the ICE agents ran over there and he busted his ass in the ice. Ice fell on ice. Jeez. But for the life of me, when you could see the truth and still, that's willful ignorance.
What about what my last call? But Mr. Mobetta, what about what my last caller suggested? MAGA React stated that before Trump sent ICE into Minneapolis, they were dealing with full-blown anarchy.
How the fuck do he know anything about Minneapolis? Listen, tell him to get his ass off of GTA and out the basement. Knock it off. Stop doing that propaganda shit that Trump and them do, because that's what they do. They start pushing out this propaganda, and MAGA takes. I told you it's a niche. That's that niche that Trump found. Oh, they gonna just repeat whatever I say. That's how he's running.
Well, it's working, Ms. Mobetta. It's working quite successfully.
But is it working for who? You got people now being unalived in the streets. That's horrible. It's awful.
Well, MAGA thinks that they're kind of getting what they deserve. MAGA don't care about those people.
Because MAGA's stupid as fuck. And I can't be friends with anybody that's MAGA, and that's period.
I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked Gangsta Grandma earlier. Is there anything Trump or MAGA could do to maybe make you change your mind a little bit?
Yep. Quit.
Well, that ain't going to happen because they got too much power at this point. They enjoy making...
Exactly. So you're going to continuously hear me talk and people like me talk about this shit. Because he's not making America great.
Well,
he's causing nothing but chaos. You hear people from other countries talking how horrible our country is. We're a mockery.
Well, I will say that what's going on, you're right, this stuff is making international news, and it's got to really be destroying tourism internationally. But when you say he's not making America great again, I'm going to tell you, MAGA would disagree with that. MAGA feels that sanctuary cities is the opposite of making America great again. And if Trump is going to get rid of sanctuary cities and make sure that we only have people here that have a legal right to be here, that is part of making the country great. So they do see Trump's actions as making America great.
They can keep talking that bull. That's nothing but a bunch of bloviating bullshit, Tim. That's a bunch of bullshit, because when you ask them at what point in this country was it great? Was it ever great? Oh, for the white man, it was. That's what it was great for. Come on, let's tell the truth here, Tim.
How about
you as a black man know that?
Well, how about this? And listen, if you're going to focus specifically on African Americans, and no, it was never great for African Americans, but I don't think they're talking about African Americans when they say make America great. But I want to ask you this: Terry Hayes says, "Don't get upset about your own situation." What about the notion that Minneapolis would not be going through what it's going through if the liberals had not let so many undocumented residents in that area?
Listen, was this happening in Minnesota a year ago?
No, but they did have Somalis committing fraud. Okay. They had a lot of
okay. And period. It has not been going crazy until Trump sent them people in there. Let's call a spade a spade. He's causing all of this the destruction and division and stuff. He wants those midterms to be fucked up, is what he wants. So let's cause enough chaos so I can invoke martial law, and we can do what we need to do to shut down those midterms. He lost the midterms, Tim. Him and his peoples know they lost it. So what they gonna do? We're gonna fuck it up before it happens. So we're gonna keep fucking this shit up.
So you believe that this is all a ploy to stop us from being able to have free and fair elections by Trump?
Listen, remember when you made that? Yep. Remember when you made that video of the 5 things that were gonna be going under Trump?
Yes.
I wish you would go back and find your video and play it because it's happening.
You know something? I am going to have to go. I made it several months ago. I don't even remember. I did list. I have a video titled 5 Rights You Will Lose Under the Trump Administration. I need to go back and listen to it and see how many I got wrong, or if it turned, how did it age or whatever, because you're the second person now to tell me that video was coming true. I haven't listened to it since I did it.
I was on when you said it. I was on when you said that. You know what I'm saying? See, the thing is, if Trump was doing it, everything to really say that he was fighting an actual enemy, then we can give him some type of credit. But you're creating the enemy. That's a whole difference.
Yeah.
He's creating enemies right here on this land. He's not the president is supposed to represent the entire country, not just who kisses your ass.
But what about the notion if they're here undocumented, they should be forced to leave? That ain't Trump creating that. He's going to say the liberals are the ones that got. The liberals are the reason there's so many.
Another bullshit. That's some other bullshit about them too. Because again, how is it that Obama did deport more people than you? Obama deported families.
Yeah.
Deported, but you didn't see people being unalived in the streets for it. You know why? Because he did. He allowed them due process and still got their ass up out of here.
Yeah, but Trump has made it clear he don't believe that undocumented residents should get due process, and MAGA don't want that happening either.
Well, and that's where the horrible disconnect is. It's awful, and it shows that he has no humility, he has no moral, he has no manners, and I see why his family didn't like his ass.
How about this? Michael in the comments, you mentioned Trump creating enemies. Michael says definitely creating enemies. I am your enemy as long as you want criminals in our country. What say you?
What are you talking about, criminals in our country? How many criminals in this country went to schools and pewed up schools and churches and grocery stores? How many of those were immigrants? None of them. They were all white American men.
Well, you know the belief
most
is.
Of them were. Most of them were.
You know the belief is, at least with MAGA, the belief is that most folks that are here with no documentation or have no legal right to be here are here committing crimes and doing bad stuff. So if illegal immigrant equals criminal to a lot of MAGA.
Listen, his niche is I gotta lie and make them believe what I'm saying so they can continue to follow me, so I can get more votes, so I can lie to them again, so I can get more votes. And come on, it's a repeat cycle here. It's a repeat cycle. We know that he demonizes people that he does not like. Look how he called a reporter Miss Piggy.
Oh,
he called. Come on now. He said the Haitian peoples were eating cats and dogs and shit.
He does like the insult.
He got them believing that the LGBTQ are harming their children, and they're not.
Bro, he believes believes the LGBTQ lifestyle is harmful to children if they get exposed to it.
Listen, do they know that more children has been harmed by heterosexual people than anybody?
That's a good point.
I'll wait.
That's a good point.
I'll wait.
I would also suggest more children have been harmed by exposure to guns than LGBTQ as well. But real quick in the comments, Jazzy J says Democrat cities are where school shootings occur. I don't know if you've heard about Uvalde. That wasn't a Democratic city. I don't think was Columbine. I don't know if Columbine was in Littleton, Colorado. I don't believe that's true at all. Was Sandy Hook in a Democrat city? My guess is that happens everywhere.
That's them bloviating again, Tim. That's them bloviating. You know, they're going to say anything to not hold MAGA accountable for anything.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right off the bat. I tell you right.
Concerned.
Yeah, a lot of those.
Release those Epstein files.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell you a lot of those school shootings are not held in Democrat. I don't know where you got that from because a lot of that stuff is in some small towns, suburbs, and everywhere.
Shit. Like MAGA Reacts was up here just straight up making up shit. He went beyond hypothetical. He was just straight up making up shit. Then he tried to move the goalpost on you. That's what
that was the most. Yeah, I mean, MAGA talks a lot. I enjoyed talking to his comments, but yeah, that one he was really spinning. I mean, when he started talking about you can shoot somebody because you think this or think that, and your thoughts are wrong, and I need to see what was through his eyes. I mean, he was
the cop didn't know the cop maybe he didn't hear he had a gun. How is it that he saw something different than the guys his constituents didn't?
Yeah, his other cop.
How is that different? Oh, shut up.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is that if you're a law enforcement, you are responsible personally for seeing the threat coming from the person you're shooting at. Nobody yelling something at you gives you justification. You need to see the threat for what you're firing upon because somebody may be lying to you.
Right. And see, that's the DEI hires that they have in ICE right now. They all DEI. They even lowered the bar for them to get in to become agents. Now they want to talk about DEI. That's the epitome of DEI right now. These ICE agents.
That's a great point for what folks.
Training, what they got 6 weeks of training, if that.
That's a great point for what folks suggest. DEI is not having a merit, didn't earn it. ICE actually does qualify as DEI hires. They've reduced, they make it easier so black people can get the job. They're absolutely making it easier for ICE agents. I mean, that is like the literal definition of DEI hiring those ICE agents because they have dropped the standards to get more people.
Yep.
So
when they start talking about that shit, they need to go ahead. Go talk to your orange god. Go talk to him about that shit.
Well, the guy is making America, but the guy is making America great again. What's more better?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How many unalivements and shit is that? I tell you, Trump's lies cost lives.
Wow. And
whether it's unalivement or whether they're losing their livelihoods, his lies cost lives.
How about this though? Leslie in the comments says, and some of the ICE agents are from overseas. I believe there are real Israelites. Do you believe? Have you heard anything like that?
I haven't heard it, but I believe it.
Oh,
you know they are the true beneficiaries of our money, all that. Anything that goes down, the media, all of that stuff belongs to them.
Israelites working for ICE?
Yeah.
That's the first I've heard. That's crazy. I see the comments. Paul Sauce says sanctuary cities are getting iced. Iced past tense, so they're getting iced. I don't know what he means, but he got a bullseye emoji in his statement. So I guess he's suggesting that ICE is,
Why is ICE going so hard if the border was all secure and all of that shit? What's happening?
Well,
it was so secure.
The border.
That it was so secure now that the crime has went down, that all of this shit has happened. What happened to that?
Well, even if the border is secure under Trump, there's still the alleged 18 million people that were let in here under Biden. They got to go for it. That's what they're saying. They're saying Biden let in 18 million.
I almost choked on my protein. Yes, gangsta grandma, I do drink protein.
Well, according to Gangsta Grandma like to get the protein directly from the source, though.
Hey, listen, I'm not mad at that either. Get it where you get it. But listen,
remind me of this conversation in my DM, then. Shit. Okay.
I got you though. Listen, I ain't trying to ruin no happy homes. Though, I'm addicted.
Hey, ain't no happy homes. Ain't no happy homes without that. So God.
You're right.
He hit me off at the pass. Ain't nothing
But
wrong.
yeah, it's a travesty. That last incident that we all saw, there's no justification for it. That is what we saw it is. It's saw it to be, and that's murder, and that's period.
Fair enough. I got to move it on, Mr. Mobetta. We're gonna be having this conversation.
Let them get up here and lie to you like that. Don't let that shit that happened with MAGA Reacts happen again.
Oh,
because he make your numbers go down.
I was talking with him the whole time, but we will be talking about this again. There is no doubt in my mind that ICE is going to kill another Minnesotan. I feel confident about that. I got to move it on, though, Mr. Mobetta. Thank you for coming through. Yeah. And I'll say that again. I have no doubt that the way the Trump administration is handling what's happening in Minnesota, they will lose another citizen by way of ICE. Mayor Fry of Minneapolis stated today, we've had 3 shootings in this town this year, which is actually impressive for a town the size of Minneapolis. We had 3 shootings, and 2 of them have been by ICE, making the town safer, huh? Looking in the comments, ICE, a.k.a. Proud Boy, says Money Mike. We know Enrique Torres, the supposed leader of ICE, leader of Proud Boys, is a member of ICE. I think it's on record, so I don't know. I have to walk away when MAGA Reacts comes up, says Clue. Oh, my God. Tap the screen, get the lights on up to 85,000. We'll take the next caller at that. Make you guys understand the spiel of the show. We are MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone on this program. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with AOC. Or better yet, I'm having dinner with Q. Having dinner with Q. I really threw that one off. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to we're having dinner with Q. Everybody gets to speak on this program. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. The program has always been about free speech, always will. We don't have any moderators on this show. So if you want echo chambers, you want a show where everybody is bashing liberals and wearing a red hat, or you want everybody calling MAGA racist, that's not what you get here. You get opinions from all sides of the aisle without the viewer or caller having any concern of being blocked, banned, or censored. Free speech reigns supreme in here. Is the way Minnesota government trying to quell the situation? What do you mean? I think the problem is what's going on in Minnesota was never wanted by the government of Minnesota or the citizens of Minnesota. No one in Minnesota thought what Trump did was needed. That's where the problem is. And of course, because of what they're doing, they are greatly inconveniencing the citizens of Minnesota. Stopping random Americans, demanding, things like that. Obviously, it's causing traffic issues. They're doing things in that town that is ravishing that town. I'm going to just tell you this. Certainly with the USA Today report, get us up to 85,000. We'll take the next caller. I'm going to say this with the USA Today report suggesting that ICE activities in Minnesota is costing taxpayers $18 million per week. I don't think the reward is worth the cost. I mean, most of the Somalis are naturalized citizens. Most of them are either second, third generation Americans born here. They're not netting a whole lot of illegal immigrants. I think there are more ICE agents in Minnesota than people they have been able to arrest and place for deportation. There's 3,000, I think, that are there. I don't think they've arrested 3,000 people yet. So you're giving each one of these guys $50,000 bonus to sign up, plus whatever you're paying them annually, and all you've gotten is one immigrant per. That is the cost now is terrible. For 3,000 ICE agents, you should have 30,000 illegal immigrants you can show us. I mean, that's terrible. The amount of captures they're getting for the amount of law enforcement that is there. Which is why I'm suggesting personally, it just seems like the goal is to place a city under siege. There's not a lot being accomplished in Minnesota. I'm going to tell you that. So I don't see the $18 million per week justification for what they're doing. I mean, even the Somali fraud, what has ICE done to stop that? I think Nick Shirley in Fox News and random posts from Trump has done more to stop Somali fraud than those 3,000 ICE agents. They're not stopping any of that. So I don't see what's justifying $18 million per week. Not to mention, there will come a time when Alex Pretty's family is going to get a hefty lawsuit. I don't know about Renee Nicole Goods, but Alex Pretty, the woman yelling, "I'm disabled," that was cut out of her car and the windows. There's a lot of people in Minnesota that are eventually going to get settlements from the federal government. Might not happen under the Trump administration, but the statute of limitations for that stuff will not have expired in the next 3 years. All you have to do is wait. A lot of their mistreatment is on video. In fact, I believe that just about anybody being stopped without probable cause and detained for not having an ID probably has a case. There'll likely be huge, what do they call them, when there's a bunch of people involved in a lawsuit? What is the term that's class action? There'll be huge class action lawsuits against the federal government because of how the Trump administration is handling it. Lots of people's rights are being violated. You can't just randomly stop people because he spoke Spanish, because he was brown, because he was in front of a Home Depot. Them folks, particularly the ones that have it on video, they're going to probably eventually receive some type of lawsuit settlement from the government. Now, with so many of them that I assume a future administration is probably going to have to put some kind of law in place to cap CAP how much they can get, because he's harming so many people. It could literally put the federal government in a financial crisis paying all them people back, because some of them have been really, really wronged. I mean, some people have been detained and incarcerated wrongfully for days. I think a couple American citizens went into Alligator Alcatraz and spent a few days there and came back. I mean, there's no reason that should happen. There's no excuse for that happening. There are some legal residents, green card holders, and I believe even a couple of American citizens that spent a few days in Alligator Alcatraz before getting released. Can you imagine how much that's worth? They put you in a tent out in the hot sun where mosquitoes and shit, they were not being properly fed, and you didn't have any reason to be there. That's going to be worth thousands. And there are people all over the country they've done that to. People being detained at airports, all of that shit's going to come up. So my guess is a future administration is going to have to impose some limitations on how much all of the victims can recover, because the financial toll of it all will be devastating to the federal government. Looking in the comments, over 1,500 people from Alligator Alcatraz that are unaccounted for. Go look. That's true. Not giving immigrants due process. I think a future administration will likely rule that they were constitutionally supposed to have due process. So the ones that didn't get it are probably like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, by the way. I wish I was Kilmar Abrego Garcia in 3 years. That dude is going to be set for life. Whenever they decide to sue, sending him wrongfully to Alligator Alcatraz, they threatened to send him to Africa. When they started treating Abrego Garcia like that, Costa Rican officials offered to give him residence there. So they were going to let the Trump administration deport him to Costa Rica. The Trump administration, by way of Pam Bondi, wanted Kilmar Abrego Garcia to plead guilty to the crimes they had been accusing him of, which is child trafficking and beating his wife. Things he have never been tried for, never been convicted of, never been found guilty of. But the Trump administration has been accusing him of this stuff. So the Justice Department said, we're not going to let Costa Rica have you unless you plead guilty. We're going to send you to a nation in Africa. Even though there is a nation willing to take you, that Kilmar Abrego Garcia's lawyer said we're okay with him going to Costa Rica. He was ready to go. They decided, we want you to plead guilty to the shit we've been accusing you of so that we look like we know what we're talking about. Otherwise, we're not going to let you go to Costa Rica. So he never went to Costa Rica, and the courts finally prevented them from sending him to Africa. So guess where he currently is? In the United States. If they were about deporting him, they had a country willing to take him. They didn't want to deport him. They wanted to save face and make it look like the charges and crimes they had against him were legitimate. So now he's still in America. Kilmar Abrego Garcia absolutely has millions coming, unless they come up with some law that limits how much he gets. He absolutely has a lawsuit. You're not supposed to use deportation, the location in particular, as a punishment. If he doesn't have a legal right to be here and there's a country going to take him, send him. Why are you holding that against him based on some charges? Who gives a shit if he was tried? You're not about to incarcerate him. You're going to deport him anyway. Why not send him to Costa Rica? So it was all petty, playing games. That guy has money coming. Anyway, looking in the comments, and Listen Good says they were legit charges. Then why didn't you charge him? If they were legit charges, then why didn't you charge him? Why didn't you actually lock him up and let him have his day in court if they're legit charged? By the way, his wife never pursued DV charges against him, so that was going nowhere. If the wife, the perceived victim, is not that, there's nothing coming out of that. The claim that he was a child trafficker, okay, well, give us the names of the kids that were being trafficked. There's nothing coming out of this stuff. You don't have any victims. So those cases are going nowhere. You can't even show who was being victimized. So those cases are going nowhere. This dumbass jumping right back into the Democrats' arms says Robert, who was that? Robert, I can't pronounce the rest of that, but he says that this dumb. Listen, I'm not jumping into the Democrats' arms. And thank you for your comment, by the way. I'm willing to challenge things that I see that don't make any fucking sense. When the Democrats say things that don't make any fucking sense, I'll challenge them. But that don't mean we excuse MAGA doing shit that don't make any fucking sense. What did we say all the time? It's a free speech program. If you want to hear people bashing the left all of the time, or only bashing the right, goddamn it, this ain't the show for you. Sounds like you want to hear a show where people are just bashing the left. I get it. I don't want anybody to tune out. I favor all you guys viewing me. But if that's what you want, this isn't the place for you. Let me go back to the box. But that is crazy. No, we're not jumping into the hands of the left. We're actually pointing out something that makes no fucking sense at all. Continuing on. Iron Patriot. Good evening. Welcome to the program. I don't think he's going to bring him up. He needs to go to Fox News. Yeah, that's what that sounds like. That's what that sounds like. You want to hear only the left being bashed, and when the right does something wrong, don't say shit about it. There are people that want that. There are people that want that. They only want to hear one side being bashed. This is not the program for that. We don't just bash one side. You're going to hear both sides getting bashed when they're doing things wrong. He is a criminal, bottom line, deport him now. Then why isn't he in court? Then why is he not in Costa Rica? If he is a criminal, deport him now, and a country said we'll take him, why the fuck ain't he there? Answer that. What side wants the cartel in the United States? Both sides, because they're both making money off the cartel. Do you think America has all of the illicit drugs in this country because the cartel and the smugglers were savvy enough to get it around law enforcement? Or do you think there's a slight chance there are plenty of law enforcement officials that are making money to turn another fucking blind eye to it? You think they're all doing that on their own with the huge demand for drugs in this country? You don't think Americans are participating in the drug trade? On both sides of the law. Not only Americans smuggling the shit in, but cops turning a blind eye and assisting the shit getting in. There are actual cases of even the American fucking military using American aircraft to bring drugs in this country. but we only want to talk about the cartel. Okay. Same thing with the illegal immigrants. You think we'll be 18 million illegals in this country or whatever number MAGA wants to give if Americans were not helping them on both sides? Americans hiring them for cheap labor, Americans putting them in the sex trade, wanting the drugs. You think that would happen if Americans weren't participating in that shit? You won't hear that from MAGA. King Finn. Good evening, King. Welcome to the program. King Finn, are you there?
I'm gonna give you a break for a second. You know, you've been talking and coughing a lot. I'm gonna give you a quick break. All right, cut the shit.
Okay.
We're gonna go here. I'm gonna start in on your ass real quick.
Okay, what am I doing wrong?
Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say, because you was about to say something.
I was gonna say, did you see the video?
Yeah, I seen the video. And all you motherfuckers in here talking about he did anything wrong are either blind or fucking stupid or both. Who the fuck cares? Either way, you motherfuckers need to be locked up. All you motherfuckers who think anybody deserves to be done how that young man was done, being for the fact that he was an ICU nurse for the biggest VA hospital in the motherfucking country in Minnesota, one of them, you motherfuckers need to be locked up. All you motherfuckers can shut the fuck up and fuck all of y'all, your mama, and the horse y'all rode into on, okay? Fuck all of y'all. Because that young man didn't do nothing but try to help a woman who they literally pushed over the fucking snowbank, over a 3-foot snowbank. They pushed that woman, and he walked up and tried to help her. And for doing that, they pepper sprayed him, beat him, disarmed him, and then pew-pewed him. So you tell me where the fuck the justice was, because there was no justice for that young man. That's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I'm going to go in on you about is your boy Gen X needs to stop following me. He continues to follow me in places he shouldn't follow me. Don't come for me, Roach. I didn't call for you. Don't come for me. He continues to get embarrassed. And the other night I embarrassed him.
All you got to do is, can't you block him? Just block him.
It doesn't even matter. Matter of fact, I want him to follow me so I can continue to embarrass his ass and then block him and then continue to get his ass called out on every fucking panel he going to. He came in with me on one motherfucking live I was in. I embarrassed him. Then he went to another live with Michael and did some racist ass shit in there too. However, so I continue on, okay? Who was it? I was somebody who said some shit. Stevie, whatever his name is. You in here explain to me that you want to talk about the 4 people that you can't name that who some illegals have raped and.
Well, let me interrupt you to say a couple things. First of all, I don't like bringing up the Lincoln rallies and shit. If you got 18 million illegals in this country and you only got a handful of people, look, there's a handful of people that have been killed by legal migrants as well. So, I mean, if you take a group of people that's 18 million strong, there are going to be some bad guys in that group. 18 million MAGA has killed a bunch of people. I mean, like,
all I'm saying is, he was telling me about the 4 people that quote unquote illegals had raped or whatever. What about the kids that ICE and white people down in Atlanta have fucking used for a sex trafficking ring? What about the women that they found ICE had trafficked and was trafficking? This was less than a month ago, right? What about them? What's going on with them? Because you can't name those 4 women that supposedly illegals have raped.
I don't listen. I'm sure that there are a lot of people in this country illegally that have helped pregnant women deliver a kid on the side of the road, took a cat out of a fucking tree, and helped save somebody from drowning. You only hear. It's obvious the goal is to only find negative aspects of folks that are here illegally, because I'm certain plenty of them have done things that have been, some of them have served in the goddamn military, and you don't hear the right saying anything about it. So it's obvious the view of illegal immigrants is negative, because all of the comments toward them is negative. When we know 18 million people features a bunch of folks doing positive stuff as well. So I just think that the bias is too obvious.
The illegals that they're so willing to get out of this country have been nothing but a net positive to this country. And the people saying that need to look up the motherfucking law, need to look up the actual numbers. The quote-unquote illegals that y'all are talking about, y'all want to get rid of, have never been a net negative, which means this country has prospered from them being here. The job market, the taxes, the whole damn shebang. It's always been a net positive in this country with immigrants here. Further on, we're going to go. Tim, stop talking about the fraud bullshit, okay? I want you to stop talking.
You're talking about the Somali fraud.
I want you to stop.
Are you telling me no Somalis committed any acts of fraud in Minnesota?
I'm telling you that the fraud, the Somali fraud that they're talking about is bullshit. The fraud that they're talking about, those millions of dollars went to, the white woman who committed that shit is already in jail. Stop talking about that shit.
I'm going to ask you again. So are you suggesting that no Somalis in Minnesota were recipients of fraudulent cash?
That is exactly what I'm telling you. Because maybe you didn't realize this.
So why the hell did Tim Walz step down?
Tim Walz stepped down. He didn't step down. He said he was not going to.
He was clearly running for a third term, and now he's not. Why the hell did that happen?
Why would he want to, Tim? His administration and the whole state is being marred because President Trump got a freaking hard on for him.
I agree with the hard on part. I disagree that there's nobody there committing fraud. I agree that Nick Shirley probably made a spectacle and did some things that didn't need to be done and told a few things that were not truthful. But I don't think that they're all innocent. But before we continue, I want to correct something that was said in the comments by a viewer by the name of Rest Eclipse or something. He says you can't be illegal and serve in the military. The problem is President Trump is deeming a whole lot of people that are illegal that are not. What do you call it?
DACA, naturalized citizens.
Naturalized citizens, TPS, temporary protected status, asylum seekers. Plenty of them can serve in the military. And he's actually classifying them as illegal. So that's the point we were making. Go ahead there, King Finn.
Like I'm saying, either way it goes, the white woman that got the majority of that money that you're talking to people is talking about her fraud is the white woman who started this shit. It ain't the Somalian people. Okay. If Nick Shirley was to go to any daycare, and it ain't just Somalian daycares, any daycare, you're not going to be able to get in. Now they should be answering the phone, yeah, but that's for the protection of the children in that daycare. And he's an idiot for thinking he's supposed to be able to walk into a fucking daycare where there are kids and talk with cameras. People don't want that.
I'm not going to call Nick Shirley an idiot. I think what Nick Shirley was doing was trying to get paid. Folks accuse me of doing that shit. I think what Nick Shirley was doing, and it did work. He got millions of views. That guy made a lot of money off of that. I'm pretty sure Nick Shirley and his cameraman were aware that two white dudes are not going to be able to just walk into a fucking daycare with cameras and no right to be there. But on video, he assumed that his viewers, and he was correct, would not even think that. And it worked. But I'm sure they knew. I'm sure Nick Shirley, if he don't have children now, he's a young man, he will eventually have kids probably. He wouldn't want somebody walking into his fucking daycare, his kid's daycare with a camera and no reason to be there. So they should have known a daycare center is going to be locked, even if it's in full operation.
And again, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you last time you asked me that question. The reason why you might not see as many kids there that are on the rolls is because those daycares have 4 different shifts of service because Somalian people work overnight as well. So there are 4 different times where there are influx or an outflux of children. I've been there and in those spaces, in those situations to see them myself. Again, I'm in Minnesota. So for you motherfuckers who keep saying, these people ain't here, they say, fuck you. Get a life. Or how about you do what Nick Shirley did? Go find out yourself, you dumb fucking idiots.
Yeah, and in the comments, Jazzy J says, my parents came here legally. Why can't everyone else fight in your country to make your country safe as well? Well, look at what's going on in Iran right now, where Trump is telling the protesters are being shot dead, and Trump is telling them we're going to help them. Look what's going on in Minnesota. It ain't easy to fight back against a fucking government. What are you talking? Look at what happened in Venezuela. We had to go save them. Look at what Saddam Hussein was doing. Look at what's going on in North Korea. You can't just fight against a fucking government like that. Go, King.
Also, the real reason why the 3,000 ICE agents are in Minnesota was told by Pam Bondi to Tim Walz maybe a day ago. The real reason why they're there is because Pam Bondi and President Trump want the voter rolls. They even tried to bargain for the voter rolls. You'll be hearing about it in the next couple of days. We'll get rid of ICE if you give us your voter rolls.
I heard somebody else mention that, which, listen, this is where the Trump playing checkers comes in mind. Most of the stuff Trump is telling you that he is doing, the reason he's giving you for why he's doing it, usually the reason he's giving you for why he's doing the stuff is incorrect. There's something else behind the scenes, like the reason he was going out to Venezuela was about drugs. Now that we're in Venezuela, you haven't heard anything else about drugs. It was about oil. And that's a host. He says that about a lot of stuff. The reason, don't listen to the reason he's giving you. Focus on what he's doing, because there's generally an alternative reason why he's doing it.
And last but not least,
by the way, Greenland had nothing to do with American security. That was another one. Go ahead.
No, that was for the minerals.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll leave you with, and I'll try to be quick because I know you don't got a lot of time because I'll be trying to eat through your ass, is the fact that did you guys know that? Oh no, it's two things actually. So did you guys know that they started seizing Mar-a-Lago this morning at 6:47 in the a.m.?
Wait, repeat that?
They started seizing his properties. Trump, they're moving forward with the Letitia James case. He's about to start paying that money back.
Oh,
that's
wow.
what this shit is all about. They're seizing his properties. If you look it up on CNN and on NBC and even on Fox, they started showing the FBI agents running up in Mar-a-Lago and taking shit. So while everybody's thinking that Trump's about to make this gigantic move, he's so great for the country, you stupid motherfuckers, he's about to fuck up. He's about to be removed. And I hope they take his orange ass in an orange fucking suit straight to the Hague. Also, another thing. Did you see the correctional officer that got the hell beat out of Mother Maine today? Because that's another thing.
No, but I want you to hear something before you jet out. Speaking of saying correctional officers got their asses beat, this is the one. I haven't played this yet, but I'm wondering, had you heard this?
Learning that rioters bit off an officer's finger, accompanied by some graphic images that we are not going to show you here on air, but we are going to put up this post here from our law enforcement officer, and one of them bit off our HSI officer's finger, and he will lose his finger. This just being posted here moments ago to social media. Once again, this is coming in from spokesperson Trisha McLaughlin.
Did you hear about that? That a protester bit off an ICE agent's finger?
If they did, good. Fuck him. Good. He should have bit off his finger and kicked him in the nuts. Good.
That's a hell of a bite. My God.
Look, when you getting pepper sprayed and beat the hell out of with a pepper spray can and then unalived, I mean, come on, dude. Really? What are we talking about? It's 3,000 motherfuckers in Minnesota to do that. Are you kidding me? So somebody bit off a finger. God, big fucking deal. Let's treat it like Trump's ear. It's gonna grow back, right?
No, it's
gonna grow back, right?
No, it doesn't regenerate. No, you're not gonna get your finger back.
Maybe you should think about instead of taking a paycheck, doing something that's right. Because that's all it's really all about is money any fucking way and cruelty. All these motherfuckers out here ain't thinking about nothing but money and cruelty. And they gonna keep on. And I told you last time, they gonna run up on the wrong side of town and something else is gonna come out. And it ain't gonna be their motherfucking finger they lose. You dig what I'm saying?
I need to see that to believe it, because I'm telling you, there are plenty of folks in Minnesota that have firearms, and they're running over Minnesota. I don't see any anti-tyranny there at all. They're running over them people.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
There's 600 officers in the MPD, right? 600 full officers in Minneapolis.
I'm talking about the citizens.
I know what you're talking about. What I'm telling you is, why is it that they keep having to have MPD to bring them out of the hood? They just did that operation the other day where they pulled that white dude out in underwear and a motherfucking a fucking cover, right? Yeah. But do you know that they had to have MPD to get out of the neighborhood they were in?
Well, because the people don't have a problem with MPD. They know MPD is not working with ICE. The citizens don't have a problem with their police.
Well, see, here's the thing. Because MPD, after that George Floyd shit happened, MPD revamped a lot of the officers that were there, and a lot of bad officers got popped off. A lot of bad officers end up quitting and getting released. So the officers now that are in MPD actually live in some of these neighborhoods, and those officers are starting to tell ICE, y'all need to stop playing. Y'all in the wrong neighborhood for this shit. Y'all gonna get
until I see some citizens actually take out some serious brutality on ICE. I don't believe it. I think ICE can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, you gonna see it soon. I'm telling you now, there's going to be a moment where shit pop off here, and y'all not gonna be able to stop it. And Trump might want that, but he needs to remember that the rest of the country is behind us too. See, he can do that shit from Mar-a-Lago.
I don't think the rest of the. I think the rest of the country. Are you forgetting MAGA? MAGA represents at least 30% of the voting public, and they're behind Trump.
Tim, MAGA is a bunch of idiots behind this orange motherfucker. Once this orange motherfucker go down, MAGA won't exist no more. You do realize that, right? Who's gonna lead MAGA next? Do you think that that Byron Scott? Or do you think
okay, let me say it like this. I don't know. I'm not aware of who's going to lead MAGA after Trump is gone, but I damn sure know the movement ain't going away. MAGA red hats will be. Think about a lot of the other symbols you see, like the Confederate flag and some of these other symbols. The red MAGA hat will now historically be part of that. So places you see the Confederate flag 20, 30 years from now, they're going to have MAGA hats there. That is part of that group now.
Do you remember the end of the movie Inglourious Bastards?
Yes, with Brad Pitt.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe needs to happen to MAGA. You motherfuckers need to walk around with a scarlet letter branded in your fucking head, so we know who you are. So you can't slip back into the ether and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm a liberal now." No, fuck that. You're not. You want to be MAGA, you stay MAGA, and you can go to a little island of misfit toys along with your orange shit tater. I could give less than a fuck, because here's the thing: the criminal shit that y'all doing in Minnesota and these other states, at some point you're gonna have to pay for it, and it's gonna be on you to pay for it. He's not gonna pay for it because this stinking ass is either gonna be unalive or in jail, one of the two. I would really hope that he'll be unalived in jail, but that's just my hope. Besides that, you motherfuckers gonna have to pay for what you did and what you supported. And when it comes time, I hope you're ready. I really do. I hope you're ready.
I'm not so sure, King. I'm not so sure. Certainly, would Trump literally leave office and pardon all of ICE for operating on behalf of the federal government? I'm not sure. I got to move it on, but I'm not sure you'll ever see the day of ICE doing what you're talking about.
I just want to spread light to my boy Advent comments right there. He said Confederate flags and MAGA hats are a symbol of traitors. You motherfuckers are losers and traitors. That's what you running for. You lost and now you crying about it. A bunch of soft ass snowflakes. But you always got the nerve to say that liberals are. Ain't that a bitch? And I'll land my plane there.
Appreciate it. King Finn, thanks for coming through as always. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get us on up to 110. 100, HUNNIT. Get us up to 110. Tap the screen. Know you gave MAGA Reacts 20. What do you mean tomorrow? Look, some people, it really should be between 10 and 15, but we give folks plenty of time to talk there tomorrow. He got his point across. I don't think his time wasn't that short. Real quick in the comments, someone made a statement I did want to address. Elise says American government is a two-party regime. Wake up. Says, I think that says Elise Sanchez or something like that, 1291. Two-party regime, two parts of the same bird or something like that, what you're indicating. At this point, I got to disagree with that. I think the parties have went much further to the left and much further to the right. If we were comparing Bill Clinton's administration and the administration of, let's say, George W. Bush, we may have an argument to make. You may have a legitimate point to make. They're kind of, two parties. When you're comparing President Trump to the likes of Joe Biden, it's night and day. And I'm going to say Joe Biden even over Barack Obama, because I think Joe Biden was further left than Obama, gay marriage and things like that. He went further to the left. And Trump has went considerably further to the right than George W. Bush, H.W. Bush, or even Ronald Reagan. So I don't see it as two birds of the same, same feather or whatever, however that phrase goes anymore. One party is way right and the other party is went way left. I mean, the Democrats are now openly embracing socialism, for instance. The right is openly embracing, the removal of constitutional rights. They're openly embracing military in U.S. cities. So the parties that went way to the left and way to the right. So, openly embracing Christianity in schools and stuff like that. I mean, so I no longer see it as two birds of the same stone. I don't know what that phrase is. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, tap the screen, get us up to 110. The gun was already removed by an ICE officer who shouted gun. This is when the second ICE officer shot the guy in the back. I say it's lack of training. Lack of training. The whole thing about you need to see the threat before pulling the trigger. To me, that alone condemns the officer. He didn't see any threat. That probably is the only reason he opened fire, is he heard the word gun being yelled. But if you're wrestling with a guy and he has a gun on him, that doesn't mean that he's a lethal threat that you can just shoot him. You got to have proof that he's reaching for the gun, which is what MAGA Reacts was trying to say. Well, maybe there's you didn't see what the cop saw. Maybe the cop thought he saw him reaching for. He's unarmed at that point, so it don't matter what the cop thought. Your thoughts are wrong. You killed the person based on incorrect thoughts. So it doesn't matter what you thought. The guy is unarmed at the time you're shooting him. So we can go with murder or manslaughter and figure it out from there, but you've done something wrong that has caused the death of a human being. It's just a matter of what are the legalities? I don't know, what the law is in Minnesota. And it ain't murder one, it ain't premeditated, but maybe they got a law governing murder 2, manslaughter. Some states have a murder 3. I don't know what it is. But whatever the case is, you done something lethal that did not need to be done, and you killed somebody in the process. Maybe your thoughts were innocent. Maybe you legitimately did think that, but your thoughts were wrong. No different than if you thought a cop was going to do something to you and you killed the cop. No, you're not going to win in court. Well, I thought they were going to be, they were going to commit an act of police brutality, so I killed one of them. That ain't going to work. That is not going to work for you. It should not work for the law enforcement officer. It shouldn't work. Unless we want to just give law enforcement some hierarchy. Real quick in the comments and tap the screen. Get us on up to 110. We'll take the next caller there. The ICE agent took the man's gun and The ICE agent took the man's gun and Saturday into the gut ground. Okay, the way you typed that must have had a word wrap or something. Why did governor of Minnesota send the police to have to wait a minute? Why the governor? This is coming from you, Jazzy J. You says, why the governor of Minnesota? And thank you for the TikTok caps there. Alter Ego. You guys help your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. Got a ways to go, but show the program some love. Thank you, Alter Ego. Why the governor of Minnesota sent the police to have decorum between pedestrians and ICE? Simple. Because the police are trusted by the public, which is what my last caller, King Finn, was saying. They don't trust ICE. The police, Minneapolis PD, is there to work on behalf of the public. ICE is there to work on behalf of the Trump administration, which does not like the governor of Minnesota, the mayor of Minneapolis, or the people of Minneapolis. So ICE is not their friend. So the people of Minnesota see ICE as the enemy. They don't see Minneapolis PD in the same light. That's why you got to use the police to have some kind of decorum between ICE and the people. You don't have the people backing what you're doing in Minnesota. They don't want you there. Sean B45 says the guy that removed a weapon accidentally discharged it into the ground as he was moving away. That started the volley of shots, and that makes it even worse. What my viewer is saying is the guy who disarmed Alex Pretty, the deceased, yesterday in Minneapolis, the ICE agent that disarmed him, accidentally fired his weapon, leading the other ICE agents to believe that the suspect fired the weapon, and they ended up Swiss cheesing the deceased. If that is true, then it's just blatantly flat out wrong. I don't know if that's true or not, but that makes it even worse. If that's the case, then that would make it 10 times worse. Wow. I don't know. Like I said, I would have to see. I'm not like the Trump administration, Kristi Noem, JD Vance, or even President Trump himself. I do believe we need to let an investigation take place. I'm not going to jump up and start calling people domestic fucking terrorists and all of the shit that Kristi Noem said, the dog killer that she is. I'm not going to say all that stuff. I would rather they have suggested it's a brand new event, and we're going to let the investigation lead us to where it may. That would have been the presidential thing to say. But the Trump administration has made it clear we're going to defend our agents no matter what. The default position is to defend the agents. So if I'm an ICE agent in that area or working for the Trump administration, period, there's a legitimate reason to feel confident that they're going to back you up no matter what. They're backing this guy up that shot and killed somebody on the ground in the back while unarmed within minutes of doing it. So it's pretty clear that you can literally shoot somebody in the middle of Minnesota and the Trump administration will back you up without an investigation coming to any conclusion. I don't even know if an investigation had even started yet, and they're already calling the victim a domestic terrorist. So they do have immunity. They do have immunity, and you would be crazy to think otherwise when they're doing stuff like that. She also, Kristi Noem also called Renee Nicole Good a domestic terrorist as well. I don't think anybody was being terrorized by Renee Nicole Good or Alex Pretty. Either one of them were terrorizing anybody. So for them to affix a label like that to the deceased shows they're backing ICE no matter what. You're not going to get a fair trial or hearing or investigation out of the Trump administration. And they're also simultaneously preventing anyone else from having access to the investigation. They're automatically defending ICE and preventing anyone else from partaking in an investigation. They're not even releasing the name to the state of who shot the people. So they're giving them immunity. I really see that. Anyway, looking in the comments, are we at 110? Yes, we are. Reed was an agitator with an activist group named ICE Watch. Look it up. I don't know if any of that justifies killing the guy, though. Being an agitator. By the way, being an agitator is not even a crime. Trump is a fucking agitator. Trump agitates people. Don't you like the trolling? You suddenly don't like trolling anymore, huh? So being an agitator is not a crime. You can agitate people in all sorts of ways without even breaking the law. So I don't know why we bringing up agitation unless, as we've been stating throughout the program, unless there's some constitutional rights you'd rather we kind of get rid of. But being an agitator is not a crime. Let me go back to the box. Have you ever heard of anybody arrested for agitation? It's not a crime. Continuing on with Jill Faith. The whole administration is just trolling us all with sick. Yeah, it really is to have an 80-year-old partaking in trolling so often. Once or twice, that's one thing, but you're like 80 years old, dude. You're a little bit old for this. Jill Faith, good evening.
Hello.
Hey.
When they pushed that lady, when she interfered with whatever they were doing, and she pushed that lady to the side, that guy had no right to come up. They were getting her out of the way. She was interfering with whatever they were doing. He had no right to go up and get all in the middle of it. That's what gets this shit started. Mind your own damn business. Protest peacefully. don't put your damn hands on a friggin' cop.
So you believe he deserved to be shot?
Well, I don't like it, but you know what? He would still be alive if he'd have kept his friggin'.
I get that. If he didn't go and protest, he would still be. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. If he didn't go out to the protest, he would still be alive. But what I'm asking you is, do you believe his actions justified the officers to take his life?
Well, I don't know. I can't really say because I wasn't there. I want to see more of the videos. They said there's more out there. So I want to see all of them. And then what's her name? Renee Good.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor sent her $15,000 to come down and agitate these guys.
You got evidence to that? Where's your evidence to that? Where's your source?
Hold on, brother. Hey, now, and then they went ahead and got, I guess because he thought he might get in trouble, they went ahead and got PayPal, a friend of hers, to get PayPal started, and it's already up over $1 million.
But wait a minute, you're saying in advance while Renee Nicole Good.
Hold on. Let me get it. Mr. Frey, yeah, hold on, let me get it.
You're saying while Renee Nicole Good was still alive, she was paid $15,000 to agitate.
Yeah, to come down and agitate. Let me get it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. You're the first I've ever heard suggest something, certainly with a payment that high.
Paid Renee Good to come $15,000 to come protest.
And where are you getting this information from?
Hold on, they're showing it. Hold on.
Are they singing it to you? Is this a country song or something?
I said the wrong thing. Hold on. Mayor Fry paid Renee Good $15,000 to come agitate.
The mayor himself did it with taxpayer dollars.
I'm here and it's saying no internet on my other damn phone. Shit. I'm trying to look it up on. Okay. I'm trying to look it up on my other phone. It keeps.
Almost no one noticed that in the 24 hours after Renee Nicole.
The first thing I'm going to want to know is the source you're getting it from. I do see Bill Ackman donated $15,000 to the GoFundMe campaign for Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent that killed her on January 7th. So the ICE agent got a $15,000 donation for his troubles. But you're saying Renee Nicole Good received that?
I gotta find that. They got it. It's a PayPal from him. $15,000 to Renee Fry. Let's see.
All I want to do is have you show me where you're getting this from. I'm waiting for you to show me because I haven't heard this.
It's saying I don't have internet. I would have to get off of.
How are you talking? Okay.
What?
Okay, so you're saying because you're on the phone, you don't have. Okay, I get it. You don't have internet. Well,
I seen it and it was from him, and they're like, "Oh, they ain't showing you this." Of course they don't. You know, they've got a lot.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this then. You don't have any. Where did you get that information? How do you know that information is trustworthy? What's making you automatically trust that information?
Well, they showed the.
Who are they? Who are they?
Different ones on here.
On here, are you talking about on TikTok or is it?
They are looking here and had his name, the amount, and sent to her. Okay, whatever, dude.
No, I'm asking you. Listen. If I seen actual evidence, I'm on your side. But just some random on TikTok.
I know who you are.
Okay.
I'll send it to you as soon as I get it again.
Yeah, because some random dude on TikTok that got access to a printer could make any damn thing up.
Okay, all right. Anyway, Renee, that ICE agent went to the hospital and with internal bleeding. So when they tried to get her out of the car, why didn't she stop and put her hands up and say, I got my hands up? But instead, she used her car as a weapon. That's why she got her butt shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me ask you this question though: when you seen the video of Renee Nicole Good lose her life, do you believe that if that cop had not shot her, he would have died there that day?
Could have very well. Yeah, he could have. Huh.
So,
hell yeah.
So him shooting her made her turn the wheel away from him or something?
Oh no! She turned the wheel into him. He was coming around when he.
So how did he end up not getting ran over? The car kept moving.
When she hit him, did you see the one from the front? She hit him and knocked him to the left.
Yeah,
That's
but
why.
yeah, but
Yes, he was shooting at her.
okay, but knocking him to the left obviously didn't kill him. I'm saying that you're saying that if he did not shoot her, she would have killed him. And I'm saying, how did that? Because once he shot her, the car continued moving. He didn't stop the car from moving. So
if he would have shot her, she could have backed up and ran him over. You don't know what somebody's gonna do.
Oh, so you think she was deliberately trying to hit him by?
Absolutely. Yeah, they were antagonizing him. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. And then her so-called wife, drive. You know what the hell? And then she wants to cry. Oh, it's my fault. Shut up. You all went there to block traffic. It's illegal. Mind your own freaking business. If you're going to protest, do it peacefully.
And you believe that Renee Nicole Good, as Christian Nome stated, is a domestic terrorist?
Yeah.
What is your definition of terrorism?
You're going up against the law of the land. Yeah.
So you believe the protesters on January 6th were all domestic terrorists? They were going up against the law of the land.
Oh, why don't you?
I'm just asking a question.
Why don't you look into it all until you go and look at that documentary and see all 31,000 hours of that? Don't say a word. Don't you say a word. The real mega people, they let in. They infiltrated. FBI infiltrated and Antifa infiltrated with MAGA hats on and flags and saying, remember, say, we're here for Trump. Guess what? Those people, they got their little handcuffs taken off. I got the video of that behind the scenes. They didn't go to jail, but only the MAGA people that didn't do shit but walk around and pray with the cops, the security cops, they friggin' went to prison.
So you're suggesting that on January 6th, there were no MAGA that committed any crimes there that day?
No, they let them in, and the security cops said, don't tear up any offices. They go, we're not here to cause any problems. But then the Antifa started breaking windows, and hey, guess what? Also, what's her name that got shot? Babbitt, she was pulling the guy out of the window and caught the bullet. There was a journalist that was with her walking in. He said, they won't show my video. She was walking with me, and when she seen the guy going up the window, she said, get back, and went to pull him back, and she caught the bullet.
So she was actually trying to pull somebody back.
Pull the guy out of the window that was broke, and he was climbing up in there, and she goes, don't do that, and went to pull him back, she caught the bullet.
Okay.
And the journalist goes, why won't they show my video?
Okay, well, I want to show a video. You tell me what's wrong with this. This video will feature the last minutes of the life of Ashley Babbitt. And I want you to show me where she was pulling someone back and doing some of the things you mentioned. Now, this is outside. Who are the people breaking the window?
That is Antifa.
How do you know?
They infiltrated.
How do you know that Antifa is not? Okay, you're saying Antifa infiltrated, but how do you know those specific people are Antifa? Because
those didn't go to jail. Only the MAGA people went to jail.
So all Antifa got away. Do you have any names of the Antifa that were there that got away?
Hold on, I got a video of where they were taking the handcuffs off of them and giving them high five, giving them a fist bump. Hold on.
We go left to Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. Everybody gets to speak. Understand that.
Antifa getting a fist bump and their handcuffs taken off of J6.
Tim, you have got to be kidding me, says Pete. We believe in letting people speak. This is a free speech program. But I do want to hear, because she said it's Antifa. So in other words, Ashley Babbitt is standing next to Antifa climbing through a window. Is that what you're telling me?
Here we go. You give me the big screen there, big boy.
Anytime, ma'am. Anytime. What do you got for me?
Hold on. Let me. I'm old, so let me get this figured out. Here we go.
Okay, so folks who are watching on YouTube, I'm gonna have to narrate because you folks watching on YouTube, you can't see this, but
Now this is behind the scenes.
I don't see anything. I don't.
Hold on, hold on. Now there.
Yes, we do.
This guy here, these are coming back behind behind. They were actors, okay? They were paid actors.
How do you know that?
They don't get to go to jail. They get a fist bump. They get their handcuffs taken off. They pretended like they were arresting them out front. Then they bring them behind here and give them a fist bump.
How do you know they are paid actors? You seen their check stuff?
Here we go. Take them off. Take the handcuffs off. Don't forget the fist bump, baby. Take the handcuffs off. Good job. Fist bump. Give him a fist bump. Give him a fist bump. Oh, fist bump, baby. Boom. Good job, brother. Now get on out of here. Go, get out of here. Hurry up.
Okay. Now I want to ask you a question. How do you know what the?
Hurry, get on
Hang on. You're
get on out of here.
Okay, hold on. You're celebrating too much. I want to ask you a question. What you're showing me, how do we know that happened on January 6th?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
I mean, I'm being honest. How do we know that this is obviously very peaceful? How do we know this is taking place on January 6th?
Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. Just say it, Doc. Just say it, Doc.
Okay. I seen two dudes that look like law enforcement in bright vests peacefully letting somebody out of look like twist ties and letting them go. There's no way to know that happened on January 6th or where that was even at.
Okay, hold on. Look at other scenes from that day, dude. I'll show you where they peacefully walked around. Hold on. And prayed. How you want to see where they prayed with them? Hold on.
All right.
Oh yeah, I looked it up under January 6th too. Okay, hold on.
Oh wow. What did it say? The fact it took place ever? Yeah, I mean,
January 6th, where they peacefully prayed with the cops.
I mean, anybody can film something. If you believe people can be paid to protest, why you don't believe somebody can reenact something later on and try to say it happened on January 6th?
I see what you're saying.
That could just be folks just trying to do that to add on to something. Just like you're telling me that Mayor Fry paid Renee Nicole Good $15,000 and somebody on the internet showed you a receipt. Notice that ain't been broke on Fox News. Fox News is pro-Trump. Notice that they're not saying that Renee Nicole Good got paid $15,000. What about Newsmax or OEN? Are they saying that Renee Nicole Good got paid $15,000? Notice they not running with that story.
Prayed with cops.
On January 6th, amidst the chaos, people prayed, including some law enforcement officers and observers who prayed for safety during the riot.
Hold on.
It's also mentioned protesters engaging in prayer. However, police officers...
Yeah, see, they were... hold on, but I want to get the video.
All right, Herb, because I'm going to have to move it on. But look, I don't mind praying with cops. I mean, but they let in QAnon Shaman pretty easy as well. And he's not Antifa, so the idea that they're letting people go indicates that they're somehow Antifa. They didn't do nothing to him. They let him in peacefully, and he clearly was MAGA. So I don't know where where the Antifa angle is coming from.
It's going to freaking it's cutting out.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. We'll move on from that.
I'll send you these videos where they were praying. You know the guy with the big horns.
Yeah, that's QAnon Shaman, the guy I'm talking about, QAnon Shaman.
Yeah, he said, he goes, we're not going to tear up. He said, we will pray. We'll pray with you. And they prayed with those officers.
Let me ask you, who won the 2020 election?
Trump.
Okay, all right.
Hey, did you see where they're finding the fraud everywhere? Did you see where they're finding the fraud?
I've seen a lot of Republicans. I've seen a lot of Republicans get arrested for fraud too. Does that count?
Yeah, it would.
So how do you know that if there's fraud on both sides, how do you know Trump won?
Well, there was fraud during the Biden-Trump run. During that election.
That's what we're talking about. During Trump's attempt to win in 2020, You had folks who not only were arrested for committing acts of fraud, they actually pled guilty to it during the 2020 election that were Republican.
Because they were made to. It's coming out. They were made to.
Made to by who?
Or they were going to go to prison too, regardless. So they had to cut a deal. Oh yeah.
You realize, ma'am, you realize how many
bullshit there too.
You realize how many how many criminals in America plead guilty to avoid long sentences in prison every day? That's part of the justice system. People take pleas all the time. What are you saying?
Well, when it's all coming out, they're getting the proof left and right. Do you remember when Trump said, just find those 11,000 votes? Because that's what was missing. Right on Fox News. I'm glad these guys.
That's what he needed.
These guys were videotaping, okay? And then when they got off work, they watched it and they go, roll that back. What the hell was that? Live on Fox. 1 million votes that was on Trump's side. Boom, that quick went over to Biden. And guess what? They found out only through Twitter. That's when they found out all that friggin' fraud was going on. If it wasn't for Elon buying Twitter, they'd have never ever found it out, dude. Never would have found it out. And fraud in Minnesota, you're saying they're saying now it could be up to $100 billion. You're saying that's just pennies. That's no big deal.
I'm saying Trump says a lot of things that come with no proof. That's all I'm saying. Trump says a lot. The cats and dogs in Springfield, I haven't seen any proof.
Guess what? My brother lives up in Springfield. And guess what? He sent me a picture with a dog on a friggin' grill.
How do you know?
You see the woman eating a cat, and the cops goes, what the fuck are you doing? You didn't see that?
Yeah, I saw the video, and I saw proof that wasn't happening in Springfield.
Yes, it was.
No,
and guess
it
what?
wasn't.
Another guy from, where was he from? Jamaica, or where was he from?
Ma'am, the video of the police car.
Yes. He goes, they're my cousins, and yes, this is normal for us.
The video of the police car clearly said Canton. That was not happening in Springfield. I seen that video. It took place in Canton, Ohio. It did not take place in Springfield.
You know why? The manager there told him to friggin' cut it now. Now. Oh yeah.
All right. Listen, Jill Faith, you're always invited back on the program. I do got to move it on for time. Come on back anytime. I appreciate you coming through.
Take care.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anytime. All right, moving on with the program, by the way. Left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. We let everyone speak. I saw the comments. I saw the sentiment from many of the viewers. She has a passionate opinion that is obviously MAGA oriented. But when we say people can speak, by the way, to spammers, I don't like to block, ban, or censor anybody, but someone is saying fuck Trump all day long. We get the message. Typing it thousands of times over, you're kind of begging me to spam you. So I'm just going to ask. I'm trying to avoid, or begging me to block you, rather. I'm trying to avoid doing that to people, but typing the same message over and over again kind of begs for that to happen. Old motherfucking shit. The hell, you're too damn old to lie like this bitch. Full-blown execution. Gun advocate groups are literally condemning it. Dude had no former criminal history, owned a gun permit for the firearm in his possession, and the gun was in a holster. Yeah, look, I'm going to conclude this by saying I didn't see anywhere near enough information to suggest that this guy lost his life in a justifiable shooting. And I'm going to take it one further by saying the actions of Trump and Kristi Noem, the statements they released after this guy shot, were fucking ridiculous. A simple, we need to wait until a full investigation is done before we release a statement would have been very presidential, would have been very professional coming from Kristi Noem or President Trump. To get up there and suggest that the guy, was a domestic terrorist and all this other shit, to automatically defend the agents before any kind of investigation within an hour or so of the shooting, it's just fucking wrong. It's just wrong to do that. Now, look, the liberals are going to complain in regards to what happened no matter what. They've seen what happened. So even if Trump said an investigation has to be done, the liberals are going to complain. but it's still the right thing to do. What Trump did is horrible. Look, I don't care any type of shooting to get up there and say that quick, to call the victim a nurse for the Veterans Administration, no criminal history whatsoever, gun permit, to call that guy a domestic terrorist within an hour or so of him being shot. To me, that screams, that reeks, we got our agents back no matter what happens. The default position is we're going to defend the agent first and then let the chips fall where they may. And that certainly, to me, gives the agents all the justification to believe that they have immunity going forward. Immunity. And I made that clear during the whole campaign that President Trump was promising to give police immunity in liberal cities, and many on the right were saying he would never do that. ICE has immunity. ICE absolutely has immunity. I don't believe you're going to see any ICE agent disciplined with any significance under the Trump administration. I think it would kind of be like the whole issue among Catholic priests during the height of the pedophile scandal. If an ICE agent does something wrong, the disciplinary actions coming from the Trump administration is going to be to move him to a different location, to get him out of the spotlight. I don't think you're going to see any ICE agent ever jailed under the Trump administration because, as he stated, they have immunity, and he wants to make sure that they realize that you're not going to be held accountable for doing my bidding. So I don't want to reduce morale among my agents. I want my agents to know they got my full support. So if something go down, I got their back. So yeah, you're not going to get any kind of recourse against any of those folks. Charlie Kirk is sucking Satan's dick in hell, waiting on Trump, says, damn, really? I don't know where that came from. In the comments, one of the viewers whose name, the names are smaller than the names are actually smaller than the comments. So I have to put the glasses on to read the names, but I can see the content. Thank you, Truth in Action says, your content is good stuff. And thank you for providing space for constructive conversation on all this madness we live with. Hopefully you and others seeking truth will help to bring sanity back. Not likely, thank you for the compliment, appreciate your input. Not likely because we didn't vote for sanity. We didn't vote for unity. Regardless of how you feel about the Trump administration, and I'm also speaking to my beloved MAGA as well, Trump ran on division. Trump even stated, I'll be your president of retribution. He made it clear, if I get in there, I'm going to go at the people that I perceive are enemies to me, my administration, and the country. And we elected him. We elected a president that made it clear he was going to lead from division. He made it clear, I'm not here to work with the Democrats. I'm not the president of all people. I'm the president of people who support me. Now, we can talk about what Biden this and Biden didn't do it and Obama was divisive, whatever. Well, Trump did not come along and say, I'm going to fix that. So it is what it is. I mean, we are not going to get sanity because we didn't elect that. We elected division. We elected, I want a guy that's going to do what I say and fuck everybody else. And that's what he's doing for MAGA. He's doing what you want, and it's fuck everybody else. And MAGA likes that. So we'll see how it goes going forward in the future, but that is what we have right now. The left politicians and the news media are the ones that created division. And that's exactly what I covered, and you come right back and say it. Is that we can say the division started with Obama or Biden or somebody else, but Trump did not come along to correct it. So pointing out that it started with the left, notice your statement doesn't say, but Trump is trying to fix it. So a problem existed. We elected Trump, and he did nothing to fix that problem. In fact, he's exacerbating it. He's making it worse. He's not coming along to fix the division. He's coming along to continue it. In fact, Trump is doing a lot of the stuff that the right complained about the left doing, and they're suddenly okay with it because it's now being done on their side. Weaponized DOJ is fine if you do it for MAGA. It's the same stuff. The stuff you guys were complaining about, you're suddenly okay with it. Small government. Remember, it was Obama that was using big government for this and that. Now all of a sudden Trump is using big government and you're suddenly okay with it. So it is what it is. Anyhow, I do got to step away appreciate the 118,000 likes. Nevertheless, if you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, follow the program. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Gotta go. Thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're trying to find sanity in a very challenging world. Thank you. And moving on,